reach out to episode 5 of Reach Out to the Podcast with your hosts, Ian and Cam. Wait a minute. Cam, do you hear that?
Hmm. Yeah, it's like a faint staticky sound.
Yeah, it's almost like we're not alone.
I wonder. It's pretty mysterious.
Did somebody say Persona 2?
Here comes a new challenger. You must crush them.
Who the fuck are you?
Well, sir, my name is Jeff.
Jeff? You mean the professional shit poster, Jeff?
You bet!
Oh, shit!
Whoa, can't believe it.
Oh my god, it's Jeff! Who would have thunk it?
The professional ship poster Twitter is finally in the podcast, guys.
Oh yeah, on episode 5.
Everyone was asking for this with like our subscriber base of a little over 10 people.
Yes!
I'm sure 3 of those people were like, man, I wish that Jeff guy was in the podcast.
Considering most of the subscribers are people we know, maybe, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, episode 5, after like another delay, we're here, and we're gonna be talking about mainly Atlus shit. And I just want to say something real quick before this even goes any further. This podcast is going to be riddled to the brim with spoilers. You have been warned for like any Atlus product.
Yeah.
No one is safe.
In particular, any game in the Persona series, at least the ones that are out at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
But anyways, what's been going on, guys?
well, a lot of news happened since we last did some podcasting.
Oh god, are you right on that one?
Jesus Christ.
I'm so happy though. Like, yes, my 2 of the biggest games I was anticipated for got like huge news.
But to get the first and only non-related Atlus news out of the way, the NX is a thing, and it's dumb. Yay.
Look forward to that in 2017. Now, you would be wondering, well, why aren't you going to talk more on the NX? Well, there isn't much on the NX. We just know it's coming out. That's it. Moving on.
And we know that Zelda U's coming out for it, so hey, the Wii U officially doesn't have a Zelda game to itself.
You
Cool.
mean the one game that Nintendo said that they'd talk about, and that's it?
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, E3 is going to be great this year. I know it for Nintendo.
God.
I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure they'll do something, but for now, they're just mainly going to talk about Zelda.
Oh,
That's
I mean,
really
like, just showing off one game for, like, a library of a brand new console just seems a bit off-putting. I don't know.
It feels like that would be like people say, well, E3 is no longer relevant, and I'm like, yes, the fuck it is.
It kind of is still.
Why like suddenly because Nintendo isn't showing up? Why is E3 suddenly irrelevant? I don't understand that.
Everyone
I really
tunes.
don't.
Everyone tunes in for the coverage.
When Nintendo doesn't show up, it automatically means it's not relevant anymore.
It's not Nintendo's fault or anything. No.
It's okay when Nintendo does it.
Oh, we're already starting off strong. But no, like, okay, I understand the fact that E3 is not the best, like, at all, most of the time, but people usually still tune in for news regardless, because that's still, like, the big kind of conference about, like, huge new releases and such that, you know, get unveiled. So the moment, of course, Nintendo doesn't show off, then suddenly no one cares. I mean, we still got Microsoft and Sony. I understand that Microsoft isn't really the best, but it's always fun to make fun of them regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even with Sony that usually have like pretty boring presentations, there's still stuff to look forward to.
There's usually something.
Even though most of their recent ones have been hype, and sadly I've bought into it every time.
Every time. I can't help it.
Every time.
Like I can't help it. Sue me,
Kill me off screen while we're at it.
please.
Just end me.
But yeah, that's the Nintendo thing. I find it hard to care personally, but there you have it.
There you go. Now you can rest easy, all 2 of you.
So now we're just gonna talk about a bunch of either Atlus news or Atlus related shit.
Yeah, that's what we're really here for. That's why this shit poster's here.
Yeah, mainly for one particular game.
Yeah, we'll get to that though. Don't worry.
So let's just get like some of the lesser news out of the way first. So Europe, that's a comment I think because Atlus sure doesn't think so because they did something with Nissa and now their partnership is just dissolved. like it's still vague on what actually happened, but Nissa has been like pretty much the only big like distributor for Atlus games in Europe. That partnership has just faded, so it's like, what now?
What
Might as
now?
well get Square Enix back like they did for Persona 4.
Sometimes I still can't fucking believe they actually published Persona 4. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I remember looking that up on like a Wikipedia article at one point. And I'm like, wait, what? Is this true?
Yeah, it's true. I've got that box. It says Square Enix on it, so there you go.
There you go. Them publishing the best RPGs in the PS2 you can get, along with Kingdom Hearts,
Final Fantasy X too.
Final Fantasy 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Though, yeah, like you mentioned, Nisa was usually the guys who would bring over the games, and because of the lack of them anymore, I'm not sure if you guys are gonna get lucky with Atlus releases, unless you import, of course.
I mean,
Like,
I
I'm sure
basic-
PS3 won't be an issue unless they pull an Arena again, which I hope not.
I really hope not, because it's
Consider-
really dumb.
considering how much they got called out for to the point where in Ultimax are like, yeah, it's no longer region locked. Woo! Like, I don't think that's gonna be like a thing anymore.
I hope not. That's just silly. I mean, you're still gonna have problems with 3DS, of course. Unless,
Yeah.
you just go buy an American 3DS.
It's really goddamn stupid that you have to go out of your way to do that, but there you go.
There you
Fucking
go.
hell.
Now,
Rip
I'm
ST4
not
and
sure,
over-
like, was Nisa more like a recent kind of big publisher for Atlus games? Because I recall that, like, one of the Euro publishers was, like, Ghostlight or something like that.
Yeah, Ghostlight, but they just fucking faded, like, a couple of years ago. Like, I don't know where the fuck they went. But, like, they used to be the big publisher for Atlus stuff, but then it was, like, then Nissa just kind of took over, and now we kind of just don't have either, so...
I recall Ghostlight being the guys. Like, I think their last release, I want to say, I could be wrong in this, was the vanilla release of Survivor 2. And
Yeah.
I only really know Ghostlight for more of the fuck-ups than, like, the actual releases.
Fucking overclocked, Jesus Christ.
And then they
I
tried
think-
to send out a patch, but that apparently didn't work. And then they made the statement where they just can't fix the version.
So now, if you want a working version of Devil Survivor overclocked, hey, guess what? You're gonna have to import, Buster.
Woo woo! Long
God.
live America!
But yeah, the Europe situation with Atlus has always been a giant joke, but at this point the joke is just becoming sad.
Atlus is actually feeling the fire.
And like, I usually understand like, oh, they're like a smaller publisher, that's fine. But first of all, they fucking Sega backing them now. So, that's no longer an excuse. Maybe not less on Atlus and more on Sega, but still. And second, there is actually a fucking Western branch of Idea Factory of all people, who regularly publish games in Europe without any trouble. And like, I don't believe for a fucking second that Idea Factory is bigger than Atlus.
Yeah, like, out of anyone. Idea Factory is the people who do Neptunia crap, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Neptunia and all that other fan service garbage thing.
Ah, the Vita.
Yeah.
PlayStation 3 Steam.
Yeah, they have been doing a lot more Steam releases, I've noticed.
Steam has been infected with a lot of weep trash as of like last year.
Weep
is
trash
not a
and
good
just
sign.
trash. And movies.
Yeah, and movies.
And
Now we can
anime.
finally see the Leprechaun trilogy.
We can finally watch Naruto, the last movie, but it's not actually the last Naruto movie on Steam.
I can watch Naruto Blood Prison? Yes! Yes!
But yeah, that's all I have to really say on that. Just Jesus Christ.
Way to go, Atlus.
Way to go, Atlus.
Now the European jokes will last till the year 20XX.
God knows what's even going on with Australia at that, but regardless.
Oh, Australia's always bad with like releases of any kind of game outside of Atlus too.
Yeah, this is nothing new. This is just like
Like
the
God, it's
usual.
impossible to get Mortal Kombat in the country.
But on more fucking annoying news, censorship.
What do you
That's
mean?
always a fun topic, and with that I mean another Atlus game, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE.
Oh, you're on your own, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened was there's this one, like I think it's Dungeon 1. I know you two can't fucking confirm that for me, but whatever. I'm pretty sure it was like the first dungeon or something that had to do with an aspect of idol culture called gravure modeling, which is basically really skeevy, dodgy modeling with basically almost nude models. And Nintendo of America looked at that and thought, hey, no, we don't want that.
No.
So they made it more about regular modeling and like preserving this idea of innocence, which, to be fair to them, is another aspect of idol culture. But the main concern here is that it might end up affecting a character's development. And like I've tried to contact someone who's actually played the Japanese version, because that scene got released yesterday, I think. So like I contacted them saying, hey, can you confirm this actually like is different is like significantly different from the Japanese version? And I haven't gotten anything like a reply back about that, sadly. But hopefully I can get that back before like this podcast goes up, so I can add that as an annotation or something.
Yeah, if that's the case, you're gonna have to send it to me before I edit this up.
Yeah, and like I don't want to like comment on my opinion on the whole censorship thing, because I think there are issues with both sides of the argument. I wanted to say this mainly out of like, I'm a nerd who doesn't like it when other nerds spread like wrong information. I'm one of those nerds who needs to correct people on that, because holy shit, misinformation is probably the most annoying thing ever to me.
People wouldn't go on online forums and lie, would they?
You think people would just lie on the internet?
Yeah, no, that's my spiel. Again, if I get like a reply back about that, I'll add that, and like hopefully that clears at least it up for some people, because man, this argument is fucking annoying. Like I'm not pointing towards one side or one person even in particular. Just this argument in general has gotten so annoying over the past like 3 months.
Sounds like any discussion on Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah, that's my spiel. You guys have anything about like other kinds of news? Because like I have like 3 more things, but I know you guys probably also have some other things. So
In terms of news related to the Atlus stuff that we're all gonna really discuss, no, I think generally, a lot of the stuff that me and Jeff have been up to have been outside of like the Atlus comfort zone is the issue.
Yeah.
Like, which we can relate to in a bit, anyways. So I don't think it's that big of a deal.
okay, well then let's see which one next. Oh yeah, that one game we talked about on episode 2, I want to say.
Yeah, around that. Caligula,
Well,
you mean?
Yeah, that's had a bit more information about the story and stuff. The general plot, from what I understand, is that there's this high school, right? Because of course,
Of course,
it's a
yeah.
Japanese game.
Seven Sisters High,
Yeah.
right? That's what it's called.
I fucking wish.
Is the main protagonist named Tetsuya?
I wish. God, that would be great. But basically, there's this school that's stuck in a time loop where they have to repeat all 3 years over and over again because of some idol or something.
It's always the
Because-
fucking idols.
God. But then, like, a new student appears who isn't part of the cycle, and that makes them realize, hey, wait a minute, this isn't right. So like, and that's where they go on, and that's where I assume the tagline "Could you kill an idol?" will eventually lead to.
Yes, I could.
Yeah, I could.
Christ.
It's a pretty easy question, actually. I don't know.
Yeah.
They could have
I
been a
mean,
bit more clever.
like, I'm sure some people have like a hard time like deciding on what like if they could kill an idol or not. But when it comes like to me and Ian, we just automatically say yes.
This is one of those telltale game choices where I just immediately start clicking the button.
But it's a pretty crazy plot line. But considering what the writer Satomi's done before, he can make absolutely stupid plot lines work way more than they should. So I have faith that he could pull it off.
Yeah, I'd
Okay.
say so. That'd be the case. I mean, the only real big news I know about Caligula is that I hear that it has a crazy amount of party members that you can acquire.
I think how it works is that you have like, you know, the main party, like the people they showed off in the trailers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could just like recruit NPCs who have like maybe like a dialogue line or two in there to give them at least like a trait, you know.
Okay.
Which I think that system is interesting. It has potential. It also has potential to fucking fail. But regardless,
Well, the only reason I comment on that is because it heavily reminds me of like I never finished it myself, but you have, and you mentioned how much you liked it. It reminds me of like the huge kind of cast that something like Chrono Cross had.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to mention that.
yeah, I think you could draw a comparison there. And if they at least make it balanced enough, I think it's a system that could work and could lead to some fun customization things. So Caligula is a game I'm very like cautiously optimistic about. It seems like it could be something really good, but we have to wait on the fucking localization announcements first. And the reason why we put this with Atlus is because, well, it's a guy who worked on Atlus games, and out of everyone, I think we can all like guess that if anyone would pick it up for localization, it would probably be Atlus.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
assume that's the case, considering it is kind of like a low-budget Vita game. I assume either them or, you know, one of the other known companies
Like
for doing that.
Xseed or Axis.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I could see
well,
someone like Xseed doing that.
Yeah, mainly Xseed because they localized a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Though the only
And, you know-
reason I'm a bit cautious on the release of the MOBA is because the footage I've seen is a bit like low budget, but I'm hoping that like the story itself will be at least interesting enough for me to warrant a purchase. Because if it is like the huge customization crap that can lead to like good replayability while also having like strong main characters going on the story, then I don't see why I wouldn't pick it up, especially if I want something to add to my barren Vita library.
God, ain't
Yeah.
that true?
With all my 3 games that I have from my PlayStation TV.
Oh man, you're hardcore. You have a PS TV.
Man,
Yeah.
I think you made the better choice though. We bought actual Vitas, which are like
Yeah.
10 times the cost at this point.
Yeah, a TV was like $20 at one point, I want to say.
Yeah, like 20 to 40 bucks. It was like dirt cheap.
That's ridiculous.
Man.
It is ridiculous. But hey, I can play my favorite video games like Tales of Hearts R.
I
And
would
for
not know about that, my friend. I play the weird crap on my Vita, like American-made garbage, like Uncharted.
Oh,
Playing American games on the Vita, that seems fucking alien to me.
Well, why do you think it was weird when I went to go pick up a Vita for the first time, and the bundle that I got was the one with a code for Borderlands 2? Which I
Oh,
have
yeah.
yet to use that code.
That's what everyone wants to play on the Vita, Borderlands. Fuck.
Portable memes, yeah.
My favorite.
But yeah, no, my only real concern for Caligula is that the footage looks low budget, but more than anything, the frame rate looks kind of fucked.
Yeah, that's what kind of worried me the most. Even in the trailers, it was kind of like stuttering a bit. I'm like, I don't know, but we'll see. It could be
We'll
good.
see. Maybe they'll fix it up closer to release. Who knows?
Here's hoping.
Here's hoping. You know, cautiously optimistic.
And if not, maybe it'll be exactly like another game that we'll talk later about. Yes, it's a bit of foreshadowing there. Deal with it.
Ooh.
But you know that concerns about every. Well, I mean, there's one more game like news about a game that concerns me. But the next game we're probably going to talk about is something that I'm interested in, but I haven't played the first game to that yet, so
Yes.
I can't say much about it. So You two go ahead with that one.
Jeff,
Ooh.
motherfucker, we got SMT4 Apocalypse!
Yeah, buddy.
Oh my god. I remember the day like I went to go to the theater and I was gonna go catch Cloverfield Lane, and I just randomly checked my phone while I was in the theater and I see all like my Twitter feed blasting like crazy about SMT4 Apocalypse. I'm like, wait, what? And it turns out that's the localization name for SMT4 Final, which turns out to be the sequel to SMT4, which is kind of crazy to think about considering like when Final was first being like announced to the countdown thing, everyone was speculating it was going to be like a remake or a port on like the new 3DS, but thankfully that's not the case.
Yeah, thank God.
So now we're actually getting the sequel that was released earlier in Japan this year, and it's apparently got a release date for this year so far, and I'm fucking excited.
I'm super fucking excited. Me and Ian are like one of the few people who actually really enjoyed SMT4.
Yeah, I understand that there's a lot of people who are not a fan of it as of late, particularly one guy.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I
Particularly
think
one
it's
guy.
just that one guy, maybe a couple of others, but generally SMT4 is like well received. It's the best
Well,
selling mainline game from what I can
Well,
tell.
it is generally received, but like there are like a couple of fans. Meaning, like I guess like the more hardcore SMT fans don't really like SMT4.
Well, that's just the hardcore fans.
Yeah.
It's just a Nocturne.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe if I played more of like the original stuff, maybe I'll go back to SMT4 going, "Wow, this was shit." Well, I don't
Yeah,
know. I
I
don't
just
really see that happening.
yeah. I mean, if I go back to SMT4, I'll probably still really enjoy it like I did when I first played it.
I think maybe the mindset you should, again, I haven't played SMT4 yet, so I can't tell, but maybe the more mindset you should go with, that it's sort of a refinement of a lot of the earlier things.
Well, the thing that like a lot of people would like to complain about for SMT4 is that it definitely reuses a lot of assets from the original SMT in terms of narrative, apparently, and I'm not sure how accurate that is. I only know some things that could relate to that, since I myself have sadly not played SMT1. But I don't know. I think like a lot of people also stated that they do a lot different in SMT4 compared to SMT1 anyways, so it's not that big of a deal.
Well, then there you go. Like, it's not uncommon for like a series to reuse elements from its previous games and like put a different spin on them.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
genuinely, as a person who does not know the entirety of SMT1's like narrative itself, I just generally enjoyed all the stuff they did with SMT4. Like at the moment, I'd say it's still my favorite 3DS game.
It's one of my favorite like 3DS games. Like I'm not really sure what will be my favorite. It's just a big tie between that and Tales of the Abyss. Like I don't know which one would be better.
You could argue that Tales of the Abyss doesn't even count considering it's PS2 port, but I get what you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't played it on PS2, so it's a 30-year game in my book.
it's a cheaper version of the PS2 game.
Yeah.
Cause Christ, those prices.
Ooh.
Well, no,
Doesn't match
like
the prices of fucking Tales of Destiny though.
oh god, yeah. Well, no, like me and Jeff have always joked about the fact that like we're constantly trying to dodge spoilers for like SMT4 Final when it was first released in Japan, and that was very hard to do considering that like a lot of the cool stuff like the soundtracks got uploaded on YouTube, so we would always go check that out. A lot of the nice art that would be posted. So the fact that like we're now actually getting the localization this year before P5 is kind of insane.
Yeah.
I've always found it insane that like in between the release of P4 and P5, we've got like 3 mainline Mega 10 games. Something about that always amused me.
Yeah, I know, right? Like out of the blue, here comes Four Final's announcement. In fact, it's funny you say that because like when Four Final was announced, they already stated like it's almost done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
I
like
really, I
Yeah.
actually kind of wish more announcements were like that. I don't know,
I think they said it was like 90% complete or something.
90% complete or something like that. It was either 80 or 90. I want to say 90.
I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, it was 90%.
Okay. Well, then, there you
I
go.
could be wrong. I'm sure someone in the comment section will be like, "Guys, you're fucking stupid." It was actually 70%.
There are like 2 people in our comment section right now, and I don't think either of those would say that, but yeah.
I'm counting on you two. Make me proud. But yeah, uh, when the game got like localized over here, the name got changed from Final to Apocalypse. And personally, I prefer the title of Apocalypse. I think that screams more sequel than Final does.
Yeah, because like the title of Final, it could be confused with like like a bigger
An
like,
updated
edition.
version.
Yeah. So like with Apocalypse being the new title for America, it means oh this is a sequel to the game. Oh okay.
I'll buy it. Here's my pre-order. Take it. Give me the
Yeah,
game.
take my pre-order, please. Take my money.
Take my money, please. Just give it to me.
I just want it now.
Oh yeah, when you see like the actual title, then you notice the fact that the game uses the Final Fantasy font
Fantasy
for
font,
some
yeah.
reason. Which, like, I noticed that almost immediately. Like, wait a minute, I've seen that font before. What are you up to, SMT? Is this your answer to Final Fantasy 13 too?
No, see, this is actually like a way for like them to telling us that they're gonna make like cross promotion DLC with FF15 and SMT4 Apocalypse.
What? Cross-promotion DLC between like a PS4/Xbox One game and a 3DS game? Like, are you sure about that, Jeff?
Yes.
It guarantees the announcement of FF15 for the Wii U.
Yeah, because that system's not totally dead at this point.
Oh god.
God.
Don't worry, look forward to the NX. 2017, guys, 2017.
It'll be good this time, we swear.
We swear.
We'll make video games, guys.
But yeah, no, like I'm just genuinely super excited for the game, especially with like the fact that the developers and all the people who have played it so far, like the Japanese version anyways, have stated the fact that this game is just genuinely better than the original SMT4. It improves on basically everything.
Yeah. I'm actually excited for video games again. Like
Woof,
holy
woof.
shit.
And I will admit, I'm a bit disappointed that like there isn't like a really special version like they did for SMT4 where it came like with the booklet and such. But I mean, at this point, I'll just take a game, and I'll take my Josuke emblem.
Yeah, my Josuke emblem. No, all the cosplayers, well, the perfect thing to use for their cosplaying is Josuke.
Thank you, SMT4 Apocalypse. But yeah, look forward to that. I can't look. I can't look forward to it. I can look forward to it. So can you.
I can't wait for it to come out. Like, whenever the fuck the release date is, it needs to come quicker.
Please.
I think it was like the 7th of September or something.
Something like that. Although that's like an Amazon date that was like the latest, so we don't know if that's ever gonna change.
Yeah.
Could be, could not be, who knows. But yeah, I mean, I don't have anything to say on it, because I still have to play SMT4.
Motherfucker, play it.
You gotta play it, man. It's super good.
I'll get around to it.
Please.
Please do.
Though hey,
But
I'm proud of him at the moment for reasons later on.
again, I mean, we only have one more bit of news to cover, and it's this one's a pretty big one. I'd
Oh,
argue for
the biggest yet.
all three of us this time.
Ooh.
Oh my god. Can you believe like all the information we actually got out of like that P5 announcement?
Oh my god, that was such a good fucking trailer!
It's so good.
Now, okay, I wanted to like set up for myself first because like I remember when the date for like the Tokyo Tower event was announced and I noticed that it was covering my exam date, like my finals for college, and I was like, fuck. So of course I am like a piss baby at that time when it happened. So I just blasted through that test and thankfully it was really easy. And I come out and like the stream's already over. And I'm like, oh no. But thankfully the trailer went up and then I was a very happy kid. And it's like 30 minutes before the exams went up, I decided to check out the stream to see what was happening. And I saw the tower itself and not much was happening other than they were playing some of the music from the game. That was pretty good. And they showed off the old lady from the previous stream again with
Wasn't that the lady
Pink
from
Moon Man?
Wasn't that the lady from, I want to say, the stream where P5 got announced in the first place?
I'm not sure on that. It
No, I
probably
think, no,
is
I think
though.
it was either that or that 24-hour stream they had. where they
Mhm.
showed off the first like actual trailer.
Oh God.
The one you can obviously tell was reading cards
Yep.
because she's
Oh,
constantly looking up. It's kind of funny. But don't worry, Pink Moon Man's there.
Wait, Pink Moon Man?
Remember the weird, like, pink banana guy, like the mascot that was
Like-
next to her?
I think I've seen like an image of him, but like, okay, I never saw the stream. I only watched like the trailer because I'm not getting up at 6 a.m. because to watch a fucking stream. As much as I love like fucking Persona, I'm not getting up that early just to watch a single stream.
Fair enough.
well, in my case, for me,
KM
like,
is though.
okay. In my case, like it was, like I obviously live in a different part of the world compared to these guys, so so like the stream was for me at 12 p.m. and I'm on break right now, so it was like, okay, that's kind of perfect. I'll watch that. Yeah, sure. The stream was literally 3 hours of staring at the Tokyo Tower with some jazzy tunes from the gameplay in, and then like the last half hour was where stuff actually started happening.
They had to get in that
Um,
Atlus trolling in the beginning.
Yeah.
God.
Kind of like the one like 24-hour like countdown stream where it reached 0 and it just went fucking backwards. I was like, oh, you motherfuckers! I stood up this late to get news. You
I'm going to bed now.
So yeah, I was there for the entire stream. Wasn't exactly worth it, but fuck it, I was there the entire time, which was fun because everyone was just shitposting about it, as always.
COD 24/7 nowadays.
Yeah.
And that shitposting fuel has only been, like, fired up thanks to this trailer.
Oh.
Because if there's one thing P5 always provides through its trailers, it's brand new memes and avatar changes.
And waifus this time. Fuck.
As soon as the trailer went up, everyone just set their image to like the one.
Everyone set their image to their waifu and they fucking went to town on the war. Christ.
Well, I mean, Atlus did, like, show off 3 brand new characters, and I'm like, what?
And they were all female. I was like, oh, I see your true intentions now.
But God, I'll tell you one thing, they were all pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
I really like this cast design-wise.
Yeah, right? I love
it's
all the
just-
designs. I love the costume looks. I love just the general character looks. It's all nice. It all fits with the style. The whole trailer is just stylish.
So good.
Like, God, we've
Okay.
been waiting 2 years for this, and it seems like the wait is being worth it.
So worth it. Can I just talk about the fucking UI? Because, like, as someone who's played the older games, like, in recent memory, holy shit. Night and day.
Oh, God, ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
And, you know, speaking of the older games, there seem to be some, like, influences from the older games.
Oh, yeah, you could clearly see them everywhere if you've played stuff like P1 and P2.
Which
Yeah.
is not nice. Because, like, I'm looking at the fucking battle screen right now, and, like, first of all, the UI is no longer a menu, it's just every button is assigned to a certain action.
I
which
like that.
think
It works.
it's a really streamlined approach, and I like that a lot. But the two things here that stand out to me are gun, which is a thing, which has been a thing in some mainline games and Persona 1,
Yeah.
and order, which I assume means turn order, which was a thing in Persona 2.
Yeah.
Also, like, don't quote me up this. I could be wrong, but I did see an image where like they had like the symbols for like gravity and nuclear.
Gravity,
Yeah.
nuclear, and there are 2
Are-
physical types.
Yeah, gravity and nuclear are back.
Oh my god.
It's really cool what they take out, because like even in the stream, there was a bunch of stuff from like the old games, like a couple of videos and stuff, and it's like, oh, you guys remembered P1 and P2 exist.
They
Thank
actually remember P1 and P2 exist, especially when they showed them off in like the little 20th anniversary trade. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's all the school badges. Oh, that's neat.
And they're
they
actually-
acknowledge the old games.
And they're actually taking like some of the neater elements from the game while not adding in the dumb shit.
We'll talk about that later. Holy shit.
Oh, I can't wait for that discussion. That's gonna be great.
Uh,
But yeah, I also really like the dungeon designs. Like all of those look really. It seems to be taking more inspiration from like a Nocturne or a Digital Level Saga, from what people have told me.
going all Mario 64 traveling through these worlds.
Apparently, according to the dialogue of the sub trailer, that was like, there seems to be some alternate world shit in here. And,
Yeah,
like, there are,
like when the girl, like the cops were talking to the main character about like, what do you know about, like, what did you learn about the other world? He just kind of gives that smirk, and it's like, oh wait, what?
yeah,
Oh,
he
we're
knows.
gonna be dealing with this shit now,
And
aren't
there,
we?
and there are like other organizations, which probably means some conspiracy shit, which is going to be really cool.
I'm really interested in like what exactly the main villain of P5 is, because I saw also the, like, you know how in particularly P3 and P4, where it has like the year kind of date system, where you have a
Yeah.
certain amount of time to complete this task until you could like move on. Because now I saw one that was reading 8 days before the photos leak, and it's like, okay, I'm wondering if there's going to be different kind of objectives going on instead of just constantly get to this block in Tartarus, save this person from the TV.
Yeah. There seems to be some. I don't know. When I figured it, when I see like how this game like handles that kind of thing, the thing I think most about is variety.
Yeah, a lot of varying locations, a lot of varying characters, it seems, a lot of varying boss fights, it seems.
The boss fight concept here seems kind of cool, where like it's not like a shadow or like both the monster and the literal embodiments of like everyone's negative qualities. They seem to be other people that get like corrupted by their own like dark desires or something.
In like the other world.
Yeah.
Because we
Which
see this one guy who's like the king or something in the alternate world, and he seems to also be at the high school and such. So
who
I'm wondering
seems
how
to
like
be
many
like
of
a
these how many of these NPCs are going to relate to the main cast.
and you know what? People getting like corrupted and shit, that's another thing that seems more akin to P1 and P2 than P3 and P4.
Yeah.
And you know, if everyone has like at least a relation to one of the main characters, that could be its own way of doing like character development in bosses and having like every boss be its own unique experience without having to go back to the shadows for the third time.
Yeah. Maybe now no one will be like sitting on the bench for a majority of their character growth, and it'll be actually like consistent all the way throughout.
Yeah,
Where
that was
everyone
what
gets time in the spotlight.
that's one thing Persona's always kind of struggled with. Although, you know, one game I think did that pretty well. But again, later. But
Later, later.
yeah, just a lot of things seem really cool. Designs is really cool. Like, there was also this part where the main characters, I swear to God, did a fucking stealth kill of all things.
Yeah, I'm loving the kind of stealth approach they seem to be having with like the cover mechanics and the outright just snapping their necks for player advantages, it seems, because that fits perfectly with the kind of thieving atmosphere they're going for.
It also means that we could have some more interesting dungeon exploration, which is good because
Like all the agile shit you see with like the jumping across like the roofs and like in the upper areas, the sliding, it's crazy.
and from the Hashino interview, apparently that's not just something automatic that you could just do. Apparently there is some like tricks to that. So, you know, that's really cool because if there's one thing that Persona's always kind of like been very uninteresting with, it was the dungeon exploration.
Yeah, some dungeons were better than others, but the majority of the time it's pretty standard like RPG fare.
Yeah, and you know, I think this is just like a step forward for. I wouldn't. I kind of want to say this could be a step forward for the genre itself, because dungeon exploration has always in every RPG ever, I swear to God, been very static. Like sometimes they throw very light puzzle elements in there, but it's usually not much.
That could change here.
And like, if that changes here, like if this is, like shows other developers, hey, you can make dungeons not fucking boring, great. I want to see. I want to see more of this. I want to see more, like high quality like console JRPGs because this is something we haven't seen in fucking ages.
Oh yeah, I haven't been this excited for a game in ages. I'll tell you that much.
Same. Like holy shit.
Yeah, like you said, like a majority of the time they're pretty static. Like the most I'd ever say dungeons get like very interesting is when elements of like an action RPG come into play instead of like traditional.
Yeah, but like it is traditional, but I think
It
it
is,
struggles with it the most.
yeah. That's why like I'm hoping this will be like a game changer here because that seems to be the case.
Yeah, because like it, it, it's like I can't even speak. I'm so excited. Fuck. But
Let it all out. Let it all out.
just have every part of the game be like interesting and exciting. I'll have like long stretches of kind of just nothing before something like an exciting boss fight happens or something. No, just I'd also argue Persona 3 a bit, but regardless,
Not nearly as bad, but yeah, I can see that.
just it's all interesting. It's all very. It also seems fun. It seems fun more than anything. Ah,
That's all I need. That's all I need.
I just want to play a fun modern JRPG for once.
And I like the fact that like even the characters themselves seem unique, like whether it be through just style, personality, or just outright weapons. Because like each character, kind of in relation to P1 with their guns, also holds like different kinds of weapons. Like you have people with SMGs, you have people with like you have Morgana with a fucking slingshot, which is fitting for like the cartoonish character. You
yeah.
have the council president they showed off with like a goddamn revolver. You have grenade launchers. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I love the fucking like all the Phantom outfits.
I love all the
Like
Phantom outfits. I like how their persona relates to them, especially the goddamn motorcycle persona.
oh man, that's so cool.
I also like the fucking UFO from the tech girl.
Yeah,
They should. I love
Necronomicon.
that shit. Yeah, the Necronomicon.
I like how the navigator character might actually be interesting this time.
Yeah, like I think it'll be a lot more engaging in terms of battles. I'd say because it seems like she's able to do more than the previous navigators.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure how much that'll be the case, but here's hoping.
it's just
'Cause
so exciting.
so good. I can't wait. I just want it now.
And then there's like the stuff outside of like the dungeons themselves, where the actual cities that you go to seem straight out of like a Yakuza game.
There are a lot more detail than previous cities, and like you straight up see like all these districts in Tokyo, and I hope
It's
they're
straight
detailed
up
enough.
right out of Tokyo. Like people could confirm this.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I saw like this Shinjuku district or something, which I know is a thing. So in Tokyo, so like just great. I'm so happy. Like
And
I
it's,
was always very pessimistic about this thing just never getting a release date, but
here we are, and it's apparently
Yeah.
gonna be before at 5th and 15.
it's like
Yeah.
2 weeks away from each other. Jesus Christ.
That's perfect. I'm so happy, especially when like I made that joke comment like when the hacker leak happened where everyone was like this game's gonna get released now, and it's like then the hacker's like change your password, Atlas, and everyone was like oh.
Oh man, remember that? Remember when they literally also added sorry NeoGaf?
Sorry, NeoGaf. And then you have NeoGaf complaining.
Yep. Yep.
Oh god,
Oh,
the
man.
shitstorms they have it on like NeoGaf and 4chan.
NeoGaf complaining. What's
No,
new?
no. And one more thing before we like go on, I like the fact that the exploration outside of dungeons may not also like go outside of Tokyo because it seemed like there was like this one plane map that they showed off that would be traveling to other locations. So if that ends up happening, that's really cool. And it also seems like there's going to be more schools. So again, like P2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know some
think-
characters in the main cast do not go to the same school, like Yusuke, I think, goes to a different school.
I think so, yeah. And there's also you also you also get brief shots of like the main character actually working or something.
Yeah. There's
Oh, yeah,
planning in
that-
the cafes for heists, and like I remember him talking about like you'll have to decide on whether you want to take these jobs or not, and it's like, oh, what do you mean by that? Like, is there gonna be like, is that like kind of the method of doing the side quest shit, kind of like where the Velvet Room attendants would give you objectives, or do you mean just in the general plot?
I hope that there's our side quests. There's a bit more to them than the Velvet Room attendants' like requests.
Yeah, where majority of the time it's like go talk to this NPC or go find this item in the dungeon.
Like those were always pretty bare.
Yeah, you just did them while you were in there just for a little like extra cash.
Yeah. So it seems you seem to just be constantly doing shit.
Yeah, and that's
There's always
exciting.
something new to do, something new to see. And I hope that's like a pace that just keeps up as the game goes along.
Please.
Because like I'm fucking sick of Persona games having this really boring midsection where just not much seems to be happening.
Yeah.
So could it be the best Persona game? Possibly. Well, we'll just have to see when it drops.
Can't wait for E3 because they announced that they're going to be putting even more news then.
Oh,
The fact
'Cause
that they announced that on the Japanese stream of all things that they're going to E3 means that's going to be a big one.
Oh yeah, because they still haven't talked about the other main character.
yeah.
The
Like
one
he's
they-
all over the box art and like some of the promotional DLC and stuff, but he wasn't in the trailer, so we still got to see what he's all about.
he's all about. I assume that we're going to get the US release date on E3. That's an assumption. That's a bet I'm willing to make.
I feel like we're gonna hear snippets of the dub. I'm not sure on that, but I'm hoping.
Can't wait to hear your Lowenthal with his great impressions of the main character again.
He does like doing main characters for SMT games, you're right. Hey, I'll take that over SMT4 with Bryce Papenbrook.
Gross.
Burrows.
Yeah, I'm out of things to say. We've talked about Persona 5 for almost 20 minutes now. So if you guys have anything else to add,
Just I'm hyped. Like this is my most anticipated game of the year in a very long time, alongside like something like SMT4 or Mankind Divided. Like those games, if any of them turned out like crap, I don't know what I do.
I just give up on video games in general.
Just give up. I'm done. Goodbye.
I just stopped liking things in general. It's like, man, every time I look forward to something, it just goes to shit. I just want to like things again.
why is this so hard, games industry?
Quit making
You
me go
just said-
shitpost.
I just want to like something. Is it that hard?
I mean, like, I'm pretty fucking excited for FF15, but God knows how that's gonna turn out. So, like, I'm not too hopeful on that. I'm just excited.
That's a bit sketchy. I'm
Yeah.
not sure on that one. I mean, I hope the best for it, considering that if that fails, I don't know what's gonna happen to Square.
I guess if it does fail, I guess this will be the Final Fantasy.
The name will finally actually like come around from its first like use. Where at that point when they came out, Square really needed it to succeed. And here we are again, where FF15 really needs to succeed.
Wasn't 7 in a similar position, too?
Not to the point of like 1 in 15, I'd argue.
I mean, fair enough. And I feel like even if FF15 failed, like, Square would still have backup at least, but if either of those fail, that's it.
That's it. You're done.
You're done. You're
Get
done.
that, kiddo.
That could be a
You're done,
back.
kid. You're going home.
You're going home.
But yeah, P5. Exciting stuff.
Oh
Woo!
yeah. Here's hoping it does good. And with that, I say to you, adieu.
And just like cut to
I
like the
get-
one part with the do.
God,
That part
man,
was so fucking cool!
It
so-
was.
so fucking stylish. Ah.
Oh god.
But you might notice we covered news first this time, and that's because of another thing we foreshadowed first. But first, I want to ask you two, what have you two been up to, like, in the past month?
Well, Jeff, you could go first on this one.
Well, I haven't really been doing much. In terms of like Vidya stuff,
Vidya!
yeah, but I already told you guys before, but I've been going through another Tales of thing where like I'm playing through like the first 3 like old school Tales games.
So, Fantasia, Destiny, and Eternia.
Yeah. I'm still going through Destiny, and I think I'm nearing the end of it.
Okay. Now you finished like the PS1 versions of these games, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I would play the PS2 version of Destiny, like the director's cut, but there's no translation for it, and PS emulation just kind of sucks in general.
Yeah, at the very least, it's like a 2D game, but I'm not sure how well it would run regardless.
Yeah, but yeah, I've been enjoying both games. I'd say I prefer Fantasia a bit more, but I still haven't finished Destiny, so I wouldn't know.
I
heard
think
it turned.
wasn't the PS1 version of Fantasia released after Destiny because like they used the formula of Destiny to improve on that game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like I can tell because like there's like after like comparing the two, like Destiny's gameplay, it seems a bit rough on the edges compared like to the Fantasia remake on the PS1.
And compared to like the SNES version of Fantasia, where that's just completely different. Because I saw some of the sprites originally for that game, and it's really weird.
Yeah,
But I heard like the one you're going to get after at Eternia is probably the best out of the year, out of like the first three. So
Yeah, that's what I hear.
I mean, I looked at it, it's like and like most of the people would say like Eternia is the best. It's like okay, I'll look for like forward to that one the most. Like it also with Destiny, it does like a lot. It does start with like the common things for the series does now with like the I want to say like the traits for characters. For what I looked up, and it does like the losable battles. It starts out too. It's like oh
Oh, you mean like the Force Lost battles?
yeah.
Oh, goody.
man, I remember a really weird one in Zelia 2 where there was one that you would most likely lose, but you could win it, and it was like near the end of the game.
Well, I mean
Yeah,
that's how the first Zillia started, is with a Force Lost battle.
Yeah, but like it was weird because you could technically win it, but it all like usually those things take place at the beginning of the game. But that was like near the end.
Yeah, and you
Huh.
fight the guy also like at the like kind of near the beginning of the game, but you had to win it.
So
But
it's,
you
yeah,
have
it's
to
right.
win it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that guy's fucking bullshit too.
Oh. Well,
So that was-
I was gonna compare it to a moment in like Chrono Trigger, actually, with one of the bosses. That you could either win or lose.
I think I
Yeah.
know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, like the one at the like at
When
the
you-
palace, right? Like
yeah,
in the past?
when you go to the palace, yes, for the first time you go to like the throne room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
Like
what you
the
mean,
golem, the first
Yeah,
one.
at the golem.
Yeah, those are always weird when you can like win them but also lose them.
Yeah,
So
that's a trend in RPGs I can't say I'm a fan of.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a fan. I could sort of get behind losable battles.
Like I think it just really depends. Like
If they make it clear you can't win, then sure, for like
Yeah,
story
like-
reasons,
like
but
going back to
otherwise,
going back to Zillia 1, where like the losable boss was like with like the main villain as in like the final boss, so that was understandable.
Yeah. Yeah, I think with that, like, I like it for, like, a story, because that's a good, like, story and gameplay merging scene, but you gotta make it, but sometimes it's not clear enough for the player, and then they end up wasting a bunch of shit on it.
Man, speaking of that, brings back memories when Vesperia tried to do that, and it was awful.
I know what you're talking about, too, and yeah, that was garbage.
I don't.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm the tail scrub in this call at the moment.
Yeah, sorry, Ian.
I could talk about Symphonia. That's really it, though.
You have Abyss, don't you?
Yeah, I did play through the first half, then I stopped.
You
Look,
st-
man, you gotta get to this thing.
I
with the
know, you
fucking
keep telling
part.
me the second half completely makes up for the game, but Christ. I will get back to it, do not worry.
Okay, Ian, here's the deal. If you get for Tales of the Abyss, I'll play SMT4.
Oh, fuck.
Now you gotta play it.
Now I have to play. What is this shit? What's with these deals all of a sudden with you people? If you play this game, I shall play this game.
Hey, I haven't made a deal yet.
Yeah, you're gonna do it after this podcast. I'm like, hey, Ian, my brother, how about you play this game, okay? And then I'll go play one of your games.
Nah, I'm not gonna do that after the podcast.
I'm gonna do it tomorrow.
But maybe after. But like other than till shit, what else have you been doing?
That's
Besides that, nothing like really big.
Oh, I mean,
I
have you
got a
played
PS
anything else?
I got a PS4.
Hey,
Hey,
did you
can
buy
join
the only PS4 game?
What?
Did you buy the only PS4 game, Bloodborne?
You bet I did.
Oh shit, how's Bloodborne?
I really enjoyed Bloodborne.
That's good.
Like, I'm fucking awful at it, but at the same time, I really enjoyed it.
I don't
Isn't
think
it
anyone's
just the From
really
Software game in
good at
general?
Bloodborne.
Yeah, but, like, Cam, I honestly think this is, like, the hardest one of, like, all of them.
Yeah,
Huh.
Bloodborne, from what I understand, removes a lot of defensive elements that were in Dark Souls 1, and here you gotta be a lot more, like, agile and quick with offense. Good offense is the best defense in this case.
Yeah. As in, you gotta dodge roll fucking everywhere and just hit them until they die. That's how you play the game.
That's how you play Bloodborne. But no, I've genuinely been interested in Bloodborne for a long time. In fact, I want to say Bloodborne was the reason I played Dark Souls 1 in the first place, just for, like, the general setting of the locations and all, like, the cool, like, monster designs. And because of that,
Yeah.
I came out playing Dark Souls 1 and really enjoying it. And I have still yet to finish Demon Souls.
Yeah, and I replayed Dark Souls 1, it's like, oh man, I actually gotta really enjoy this. What was past me thinking?
Well, I
then another
mean,
point.
like, that's usually a case with some games, where back then you just didn't see why people liked it, but then you go back and then you really like it.
Yeah, and then after that, I just proceeded to, like, buy the rest of the games and beat and just play them.
Yeah,
Which
you
ones
finished
had-
Dark Souls 2, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
You,
That
you
one
also
was just alright.
you also finished Demons, if I recall correctly. Or did you not?
No, I have not.
No, he hasn't finished Demons. I know that one. Yeah, me and him were playing that around the same time with our characters Mr. Bean and Otacon.
Yeah, Otacon.
I mean, I don't have much. This time I'm the scrub, because
The tables have turned!
Cam doesn't know anything about an RPG series? What?
I
Uh,
can't, again, I've said this in a previous podcast, I can't claim that I have too much interest in, like, that kind of From Software game, but I should give it a shot at some point.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think for what I played, the series is genuinely really interesting, and I'm going to, like, do a little shout out here. I'd highly recommend Stop Skeletons from Fighting's recent video on the rise of Dark Souls, because that's pretty interesting. Of, like, to see the director's Miyazaki, like, how he ended up becoming this big president guy who ended up developing what many would consider one of the biggest current AAA series at the moment.
I'll take a look at that because I haven't watched that. But, like, yeah, kid, you should definitely try out the games at some point. If you don't like them, that's completely understandable because they're not for everybody.
They're not for everyone.
But yeah, I mean, even if I don't, like, recently I've kind of adopted this thing where, like, you know what, even if I don't seem too interested in it and it might not be my thing, I should at least give it a shot, see what I think.
Kind of
Yeah.
like you did with Metroid
But-
Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just to recommend I recommend playing, like, either Dark Souls 1 or since you have a PS4, you can try out Bloodborne first, but, while they're, like, the best ones, they're also the hardest ones, too.
Dark Souls 1 was pretty
yeah.
fucking tough.
Yeah.
Like, nothing insane except for certain moments, but overall I think it was doable.
Yeah, I found it completely doable, and I'm completely awful at the games.
Oh yeah, I'm terrible. Like, I can't do
Like-
shit like parrying.
Yeah, I'm sure, like, if big Dark Souls fans looked at us playing it, they would probably just destroy us immediately.
Some real backseat gaming.
Though, hey, I'll admit, like, it was really cool, like, when I finished Dark Souls 1 and we were trying to invade each other, Jeff, and, like, we had the constant invaders going after us, and, like, I basically beat all of them.
I couldn't beat a single one of them. I couldn't even beat Ian.
You could not defeat Kirby.
I couldn't defeat Kirby.
But yeah, if that's all you've been up to, Ian, what have you been up to in the past month?
Quite a lot. I finished up the semester for college, so I'm basically free at the moment to do, like, general job stuff and catch up on the backlog. And I've been trying to play through some games. I've watched quite a couple movies. I've watched a couple series, whether it be on American TV or anime shit. Like,
Yeah, animation.
I took up your recommendation, and I finally watched Erased, and I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, you generally seem to agree with me on like everything I said in the last podcast, including that the killer was really obvious.
Oh my god, the killer! The moment when time just outright slows down and you look at his face with the evil glasses and the evil aura with menacing, yeah, you could tell who the killer is.
Time's slowing down. Is he Dio?
He might as well be at points. It's
He's
pretty
so-
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, man, now I gotta watch the race just to see Dio in action again.
Again, what I said last time, it's generally a better thriller than a mystery.
Yeah, I genuinely like the characters though, and that's like I think what ended up saving it a majority of the time.
Yeah.
It's just a really
It's-
nice looking show too.
Yeah. Yeah. Shocker, it's coming from A1, considering some of the other things they do, but yeah.
Yeah, Phoenix, right?
God.
And don't worry, they're gonna be doing the P5 animation.
Oh, can't wait
Ooh.
for that to look like the golden animation. Jesus Christ.
Can't wait for all the bad frames.
It's really weird though, considering like the cutscenes they do for games seem to look fine. Because I saw
Yeah.
the stuff for they did for the P5 game, and that looks fine, and Ace Attorney 6. So I don't know what's up. Maybe they just have a lot more of a budget there, and they actually give a shit.
Yeah, they actually have a staff there that just cares. It's also because that's usually, like usually with game cutscenes, that's a combined total of 5 minutes of footage, so...
Yeah. The only time I can really recall like animation and like a video game looking really bad for like anime cutscenes is a lot of the frames in the Persona 3 games looked really bad.
Yeah.
And like another game with like animated cutscenes, really bad frames is Tales of Graces.
Yeah, the ones you showed me anyways, yeah.
Oh, that fucking opening frame.
Like fucking production IG. Like a lot of other times, they look great, and you just get the Graces. And it's like, what happened?
Remember that one fucking frame where Aspel just looked like he had a completely different character design?
Right? He looked like a character from like Code Geass or something.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. They cared more about Wario Land Shake It than they did Tales of Graces. And you know what? I'll take Wario over anime.
Well, yeah, because Wario's like the person who just beats up anime,
Yeah, that is his title nowadays, isn't it?
the destroyer of anime.
I'm glad.
Okay, so going off from Wario the Destroyer of Anime, what else have you been doing, Ian? Like, some specific stuff.
Some
Maybe.
specific stuff?
Like what you've done that like kind of stood out for you or something. I don't know.
The kind of
done a
stuff out? I watched all of Eva.
Oh,
Oh.
boy. Tumbling down,
Tumbling
tumbling.
down, tumbling down. To put a quick summary, because I don't want to dawdle on it too long, or else I'm gonna be here for like another hour. I really liked the original series, despite some of the fucking issues it's got. And I'm not the biggest fan of the rebuild films.
They kind of just seem to take it more in a general action mecha
It's
sense.
just kind of generic shonen, I don't know. Like, there's nothing really
Like-
that sticks out, kind of like the original series did.
I kind of... I like the second one just because the action was really fun to watch, but like they're not great movies.
Yeah, no, they're just kind of there.
And then there's the third one, which tried to be Eva again.
What
and,
the
oh boy.
fuck was the third one? What the actual fuck was the third one? With that ending, I have no idea how they're gonna finish that.
Man, then again, we don't even know when the fuck the fourth movie is gonna come out, so there you go.
God, ain't that the truth? Especially since the director. Oh, I always forget his name. I don't know why.
Hideaki
Yeah, thank you. He's like directing the current Godzilla film at the moment, and there's like the
Yeah.
talk of the stupid Eva Godzilla thing,
Yeah.
Oh god.
which people thought was an April Fool's joke at first, but apparently, like, don't quote me on this, it's legit.
I don't really know about that. Could still be a bit of joke.
I
but-
think it would be more of like a cameo thing. I don't know. If it does happen, that would be amazing.
Man, that would be a Godzilla movie I'd watch. Holy shit.
I just have either Unit 1 just have this giant brawl out with Godzilla.
God, Cam, if you want to watch a Godzilla movie, just go watch Final Wars. That's like a movie for you. That is just
Okay.
KM the movie.
Oh god, Final Wars.
What about Final Wars is what makes it the movie for me then? I'm not
Final
curious.
Wars is just this stupid as shit all-out brawl with all these monsters, and it's got like these action sequences that are similar to crap like Kamen Riders, so I assume that it would be for you.
Oh my god, yes.
And there's also this amazing moment where they outright kick like the 1998 Godzilla right in the ass.
Oh yeah, you showed me that.
Where like the Godzilla comes charging in for an attack, he gets his ass beat, and then he just dies in 5 seconds.
Nice.
Absolutely amazing.
Nice. I'll probably give that a watch then. Holy shit.
But the main game I'm playing at the moment, or at least trying to go through, like I a while back finished the Phoenix Wright trilogy, like the first 3 games, like the GBA that got ported to the DS, and now I'm going through Apollo Justice. Because that's
Ooh,
part
sad.
of a bet that I made with a good friend, that if I play this game, that you play this game.
But yeah, Apollo Justice is a very weird entry. A lot of people don't like it. I personally actually really like it, but I'm apparently wrong on that. But like, what do you think?
It's alright.
It's alright?
It's just alright. I really liked the first case. Second case was a bit of a mess. And the third case was good. I have yet to play the final case because I've been busy with exams, so I'm saving that for like a bit of a later date, but I hope to finish it soon.
I'd still at least put it above the second game in the original trilogy.
At the moment, that is how it's going right now.
Because I really didn't like that one.
Justice
like the
for All
final
was pretty mixed. I can always say I really liked the final case for that game.
Yeah, everything else was kind of...
Especially the third case. The third case fucking sucked.
Fucking bad. Holy shit. Like, it's either that or the additional case in Ace Attorney 1. It's my least favorite case in the series.
See, it's funny you say that because like I just haven't played that one, like the fifth case, because
Don't.
you guys keep telling me to avoid it, and I'm like, oh, I unlocked it, but then you all immediately went no, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, don't.
God, the final case.
Do not. Do fucking not.
Oh
Avoid
yeah,
at all
even
costs.
Jeff knows about it because he technically did watch it. I'm glad.
He's not a fan.
Well, I'll take
But-
all your words for it. Well, other than that, yeah, that's all I've been up to.
Now, that's what I've been up to. Well, in the past month I haven't been up to much because I've had a lot of college work. I've had my exams week, and that was like 2 weeks ago. Finished that with basically all straight A's, so that was good.
Hey, good job! I'm proud of you.
But over break, I've been playing one particular game, and I mentioned I finished another game last podcast, but we didn't talk about that because we knew we were going to do a thing for that. And
The time
games
is
I
now.
finished were Persona 2 Innocent Sin and Persona 2 Eternal Punishment.
Yeah, buddy.
Ooh. Wait, there was a Persona 2.
Yeah, what the fuck, Persona 2? What's
Yeah,
up?
I thought Persona started at 3.
I
No.
thought it started at 4.
Oh, that's even worse. Oh.
But, yeah, that's why we've got this guy here, because Persona 2, the early Persona games are in a very weird spot when it comes to Mega 10 overall, where they're genuinely ignored by the Persona fanbase because they're not 3 and 4, and like the Mega 10 fanbase seems to kind of just lump everything Persona in together as this casual shit that they don't want to talk about.
But then there are the other fans that kind of put it with like the SMZ games you should play, even though they probably haven't even touched Persona 2.
Yeah.
They just know that Hitler is in it, and that's all they need.
Yep.
And that's all they talk about in Persona 2 is Hitler, and they shitpost about it.
Jeff should know, he's a professional.
Yeah, I'm a professional shitpost, even though I don't really shitpost about Persona 2 all that much.
Yeah,
Twitter.
sure.
Hey, I haven't posted Hitler in God knows how long, okay?
I've been
glad.
going on a streak.
Saying that without context sounds really awful.
I haven't posted Hitler in a while. But no, okay, off the shitpost topic. You played Persona 2 Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment, and the
Yeah.
PSP version of the first game, and the
And the
PS1 version of
PS1.
Eternal Punishment.
Yep. And that's the first weird thing about Persona 2. It's fucking translation record.
Oh yeah.
Because how it went, there were complications with translating the original PS1 version of Innocent Sin, thanks to things
Hitler.
like Hitler and a... I don't know if the gay option, quote-unquote, was like a part of it, but...
I think more so Hitler, but I think that was also kind of mentioned, like, the gay aspect.
Yeah. And at that point, Eternal Punishment was already well underway in development. I think it was basically done, so they were like, okay, we'll just finish this one first, even though I heard somewhere that Atlus USA staff wasn't very pleased with the fact that they only got to do Eternal Punishment.
Yeah. I mean, hey, in the end, I think overall, they did miles better than their first attempt with Persona 1.
Yep.
It's still a bit shoddy at points, considering it's a PS1 game, but considering the time and the company themselves still on the rising, I can accept it.
It's a pretty exceptional translation considering the circumstances, I'd argue.
Yeah, I think it's more got quirks than actual problems.
Yeah.
As opposed to Persona 1, which, like, I'll kill you slow. No, we'll kill you slow.
Kill you slow.
I'm
No,
Super Guido.
Super Guido.
Yeah, no. And
Oh.
then eventually we got the fan translation of the PS1 version, but then a little while later we got the PSP version of Innocent Sin, which Atlus USA did translate.
Yeah, in
and then
2011.
which is the version that we all played. And then the PSP version of Eternal Punishment was released in Japan, and
That never came out over
And
here.
now it's stuck in fan translation hell thanks to Madoka Magica.
Fuck you, Madoka Magica.
Stupid
So-
magical girls.
So because of like all that, I played the PSP version of Innocent Sin and the PS1 version of Eternal Punishment.
It's really awkward as it sounds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Making that shift was probably the biggest fucking barrier of entry when it came to Eternal Punishment.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't worry. I was like that at first as well. Like when I downloaded the game, because like I'll say this right now. Like I already mentioned that we're going to spoiler territory with these games, so you've been warned. I remember getting to the fucking ending of Innocent Sin and being like, "All right, can't wait to play this some other day." Then as I read it more, I'm like, "No, I have to play Eternal Punishment now. I can't just leave this on a cliffhanger." Not with that ending. So I went off PSN and I downloaded it and I started playing it on my Vita. And getting into the battle system there at first was a bit of a struggle.
Bit?
It
Just a bit.
took a long while, I'll say that.
Also, let's just go into this right now. No matter what version you play, the battle system eats its own fucking frozen turds for dinner. It's bad. It's just bad.
bad.
It's pretty bad.
The first two games in this series, Persona 1 and Persona 2, in my eyes, are the biggest examples of you play an RPG for the story. Because if we're going to talk about actually playing these games, it's not the best time.
It's a grindy, boring, like very low budget, like early RPG. Some of the design elements, particularly with the fucking Joker thing in Eternal Punishment, straight up remind me of design shit I'd see in an NES game. At points it's boring, at other points it's obnoxious.
Yeah, it really
But-
is,
Yeah.
though.
The tarot card grinding system is something I never want to see in a game again.
Oh god, I remember when people were talking about how they really want to bring back like the method of fusing personas in Persona 5, and we all just immediately went, no.
No.
Okay, so like again, I haven't played anything really outside of Persona because I'm a scrub. But from what I can tell, when you do a negotiation with a demon in like say a mainline game, you just like if you do it right, you get the demon. Is that
You get the
correct?
demon,
So-
that's it.
You
Unless
just
your
get the
inventory's
demon,
full
yes.
or the demon is above your level.
in Persona 1, if you do it right, you get like a tenth of a demon because of the tarot card system, which is fucking obnoxious.
So basically how it works is that you have to constantly negotiate with a different kind of demons based on their arcana in order to get their card. It's sometimes, like at the beginning of the game, it's absolutely awful considering that you barely get any cards at first. As it progresses, it does get better because they do give you more cards, but at the beginning there, it's trash.
And I mean, like, again, haven't played it, but holy shit, the mechanics behind the demon negotiations suck. It feels random what the demons will do, especially in Innocent Sin. I'd say Eternal Punishment streamlined it a bit,
A bit.
because like every
Tiny
character
bit.
just has one action, as opposed to like every character's like a set list of actions.
Had like four and like so many different combinations, and Eternal Punishment also has combinations based on like which one goes first you select. But it still feels like this is definitely the most random the negotiations have ever been, and that's saying something.
Especially when it comes to answering the demons' questions. I straight up answered the same thing like multiple times and got different results. I think it's based on some like background RNG thing or something.
What to say it is. I honestly think though the RNG is worse in the original version of Eternal Punishment than it was in Innocent Sin.
Oh, definitely.
If I had to be completely honest, because I
Like,
feel
yeah.
like there were moments where like I was fine with the tarot card grinding, but considering this is the original version, that is not the case. I don't know if the difficulty had anything to do with it, but I doubt that.
That's another thing. If the battle system, if you're more used to like Persona or like PS2 era onward SMT, you're probably familiar with this little thing called press turn, which is the base.
Little icons that light up if you hit the enemy with their weakness.
If you hit
get
the enemy
another
with
turn.
when you hit the enemy with their weakness, you get a half turn, and you end up saving turns because of it, so you could do more with it. P1 and P2 don't have this
No, they don't.
because
Even
they're more
older
so
SMT
old
games.
like SMT games as opposed to like the modern era stuff. And you know what? That's fine until you actually play it.
Yeah, like at first it doesn't seem that bad. It's like, oh, okay, shouldn't be that awful. And then you play, it's like, oh, it is actually awful.
It's just, it feels like your attacks have no weight, and you just kind of spam moves towards each other or something.
Yeah. Well, general attacks, there's not really much to it. You just kind of fly over, smack them, fly back. Persona 2 is more based on fusion shit than like P1. Or P1, there really wasn't any impact.
And the thing with fusion spells is, especially in the PSP version of Innocent Sin, because that has toned down difficulty compared to the PS1 version.
Thank God.
Thank God, but yeah, because of that, you basically just end up setting up fusion spells the entire goddamn game.
The entire game is basically on autopilot because of that. So, in the end, it's more bearable, but it's not particularly exciting.
I always hear this argument where like people say, oh well, I mean RPGs really only need to have a good story, and no,
No.
Well, they gotta have good gameplay too.
Otherwise it becomes a very frustrating experience where you just want to get to the really good story bits, but you have to suffer through another dungeon or two. Because that's what everything just feels like. It feels like padding for the good shit. But, like... Okay, one last thing. Encounter rate. Ooh.
I took one step. One fucking step.
Okay, to be fair, that is a thing constant throughout this fucking series. Especially
Yeah.
in something like Nocturne, where you really do just take one step and suddenly a random encounter.
I know, but with stuff like Nocturne and P2,
With
it's really
Nocturne, it's a
encounter-
lot more fun with the battles. With P2, not so much.
No, like with Nocturne, like you kind of grown a bit, but you can deal with it. And P2 is like, oh my fucking god, just let me go.
I want to move on already.
Let go of your leaky grasp.
Yeah, there are just a lot of design elements in P2 that honestly hold it back. Because like speaking honestly here, if this had like a fresh turn system and like maybe some like design tweaks here and
Best
there,
game in the series.
best game in the series by far. But as of now, as much as I fucking love this story, and we'll get into that soon, like I definitely think this is the best story at least Persona's had.
Yeah. Oh no, I think it's the best story in general out of all the games. Like
Yeah,
each and every
that's
single one, this is as good as it gets.
for gameplay, all they need to do is just take DDS's like gameplay system, put it on the P2, and there you go. Problem fucking solved. For
Maybe
most of it anyway.
Maybe make the negotiation system less awful. But yeah,
Yeah.
like if like this has it's so strange because with this story, this straight up has the potential to be the best fucking game in the series. But all these early design elements really bog it down, and it's so sad.
Yeah.
So sad.
And because that's not as easily accessible as something like Persona 3 or Persona 4. Like, you can talk shit about those games all you want. I talk shit on those games all the time, despite my love for them. But my god, they're fun.
They're fun. I like
Yeah.
playing them. Yeah, anything else you guys want to say about the gameplay system? Because I think I've said all I needed to say on that. I think I might be a bit harsher on it than you guys. But
I think, like, I'm a lot more forgiving. Like, I know I shouldn't be, but at, like, points, I felt like I became used to it, and it was just kind of autopilot at that point, despite the fact that I was just, I'm just kind of going. It's nothing like P3 and P4. I'm like, oh yeah, this battle's sick. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, get him. Weakness. Yeah.
yeah.
So, like, at that point, I'm just kind of like, whatever. But I see completely what you mean, and I wish that was not the case, because otherwise I'd be like, immediately play Persona 2, but now I'm like, play Persona 2, however, be warned.
I don't usually like to recommend this. Play it on an emulator.
Yeah.
Holy shit. This,
Yeah.
speeding things up makes it so much less tedious because you play Ian, you played the vanilla versions of both of those, right?
I
Like, just
played the vanilla
speed up.
versions of both of them. I did not have any form of speed up.
And that must have been really tedious.
At points, yes. It wasn't, like, terrible all the way through, I will admit. But, yeah, there were points where I'm like, come on. Come on. Particularly with just, like, the encounter rate, I feel.
Yeah, the encounter rate really, like, that really
I
makes
think
things
that's
worse.
what really hurts in the end. Because if it was just an occasional encounter, I would be like, whatever. But now I'm kind of like, whatever.
Fucking at one point I started running from. I was so fucking happy when I got the Estoma ability. Like, holy shit.
Oh yeah, by the time I got that in both games, I immediately used them in the dungeons. I just could not bother with it anymore.
It was also at the point where where I basically didn't have to worry about grinding anymore. So.
Oh yeah, God, you overgrinded. I'll say that right now. You went overboard, but you know what? I don't blame you. Might as well be safe.
Yeah, because I just wanted to get it over with.
Fair enough.
Because I actually wanted to finish it because certain guest we invited here, despite his love for this game, is the only person in our friend group who hasn't finished it.
Oh, you want to tell that story, Jeff?
Jeff, don't fucking run away from
It's
us.
gone. He's gone back to Twitter.
Jeff! Fuck!
Okay, he actually VRV'd.
On the time when I fucking called him out, great. Oh.
Perfect timing. That's gonna
Oh,
look so professional. He's just like, give me a bit, guys. I'm gonna make my ticket to Los Angeles real quick.
Okay, well, I mean, I think you know enough about that story yourself, so why don't you just tell it?
Okay, so like before I even touched Innocent Sin or Eternal Punishment, Jeff was going through the Persona 2 series before all of us. And at one point in Eternal Punishment he was playing, he got to a boss fight around the end of the game where he required a lot of high damaging fire moves, and he just couldn't do it considering his level at that point. So it's like, okay, why don't you just reload a save? And it's like, well, the last time I saved was so many hours ago. It's like, okay, well, just load a save state, right? It's like, I save stated in the boss, and I'm like, you what?
You fucking what?
So Jeff was kind of in a pickle where he would have to either replay the entirety of like what he just went through like hours ago or try and beat this boss. He could not beat the boss, so what he ended up doing was just looking up everything on YouTube.
So the guy who is arguably the biggest fan of Persona 2 out of all of us, because he considers it like his favorite game next to Digital Level Saga, is the only one in our friend group who hasn't beaten it.
Yeah, he's
And you
finished
wanna know
Innocent
the-
Sin, but he never finished Eternal Punishment.
And you want to know a really funny thing? That boss was pretty easy, actually.
It was actually piss easy.
Like, he said, oh, the boss before it, that was really easy, and I'm like, Jeff, that was like the second hardest boss in the game. The boss you got stuck on was piss easy. What the fuck are you talking about? The fucking clone fight, holy shit. That was
Oh, I loved that though.
It made me feel really bad, though.
Oh yeah, God, I feel just generally bad for the IS cast in general because they get the shit on in Eternal Punishment.
I feel part of that is like, I heard rumors that Eternal Punishment was only made because of like fan feedback, because
Yeah, no,
I
a
guess-
sequel was demanded.
Did somebody say rumors?
Oh, you
hey,
come
Jeff,
back
we were
to the
just talking
rumors.
about your failure.
Oh, I guess I'll just leave again.
No.
It's kidding. I'm kidding, but yeah, no, my failure was my own fault. Like, I could be like an asshole, just blame the game, but no, it was my fault.
You know what? That's fine. You'll redeem yourself at some point.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
if
And then
the,
we-
if the
we will
fan translation
rejoice.
actually gets finished.
Oh, but yeah. Now that we're here, I mentioned before, Eternal Punishment was completely made because of fan feedback, because they wanted another game from it. And I kind of feel like him fucking over the Innocent Sin cast is sort of like his, like, payback in a way, kinda.
In a way.
Like, yeah, you guys want another game, but after I'm done, you sure wish you didn't. Because when you look at it, you could play Innocent Sin and be done, because that's a perfectly fine experience on its own.
Yeah.
Because it was made to be that, and it has a pretty conclusive ending, all things considered.
The most fuck you conclusive ending from any game ever, yes.
Oh.
It was a bittersweet ending in a way, but you know, you could totally have that as like its standalone ending. But then Eternal Punishment came in, and fuck.
I refuse!
I refuse.
And then we got Eternal Punishment. And then we got that ending.
Oh.
Which, I mean, I like more than IS's ending, but I still feel bad.
Yeah.
Well,
Though maybe it's better this way.
maybe.
Maybe
So-
the P2 cast is forever to be tormented and feel sad for the rest of their lives.
The Eternal
So, okay.
Punishment.
So what should we talk about first? Story or characters? Like general setting or like the actual people inhabiting set setting?
I'd rather talk about
Uh.
the story first and then talk about the characters.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Who wants to do plot summary? You know what? Let's have the guest do it. Jeff, you do it.
Okay.
Let me
I'll
pull
try
up the
my
wiki.
best. I'll try my best to summarize the P2 story based off memory. Okay. So you start off as the main character, Tetsuya Suo. You gotta go talk to your guidance counselor. And then your good old pal Lisa, like, she tells you, hey, one of our students has been kidnapped by this asshole named Kichi. And it's like, oh, you go save the classmate. And then, like, when you go save him, Akichi just starts summoning his fucking persona. And then you guys summon your persona. And then, like, after that, you wake up after talking to Philemon again. Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, he's back.
After that, you guys do the Joker game where you call Joker and you summon him, and you grant wishes or whatever.
And the Joker is the people from their past, and like he remembers everything. Well, they don't. So the Joker gets really upset with him.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
this weird
really
kind of
upset.
mystery set up to it. Like, who are you, Mr. Joker?
Yeah, and then after that, rumors happen. Your school starts to get fucked up. Demons show up.
You meet this. You meet these people called Maya and Yukino. Yukino
Yeah.
being from Persona 1.
Yeah, returning character from P1, which I appreciate because the route I went on in P1, she was not there.
Yep. I really liked her in P2. So hey, that was a neat thing.
And after that, you do all this shit. You do all these rumors. You find another Tetsuya.
You end up going against this group called the Masquerade.
Yeah, the mass circle.
Then after a while, you find out who the Joker really is. After a while, you find Hitler. Actually, I think that's around the same time, actually.
Yeah.
Hitler appears around the revelation where the Joker turns out to be, well, I mean, we already said we'll spoil it. The Joker turns out to be John Tatsuya's, like, old best friend.
Yeah. You don't fight Hitler, but he flies away into the sun.
And then all of a sudden, planes start dropping up Nazi mechs.
Everything starts going really fucking loopy real quick.
Yeah.
And then, like, these special dungeons appear, each one housing a different shadow. And the shadow is a reflection of all the characters' negative thoughts. It's very familiar to anyone who's played P4, and that's because P2 did it first.
P2 did it first, motherfuckers. Technically, P1 did it first.
And
P1 had, like, the one
he had the main character shadow in that zone. That wasn't really like a negative kind of showdown. That was more of a reflection on all the actions you committed throughout P1. Here, you're outright fighting like the true self.
And, like, I want to say, because I've heard people, like, complain about P4's treatment compared to P2's treatment of, like, those scenes, there is a difference in context there. With P2, like, the shadows appear near the end, so the characters have already, like, they already needed to deal with a lot of, like, personal shit, especially in a particular dungeon where they realize, wow, we did something kind of fucked up when we were kids.
Yeah, you know.
Kind of fucked up? They did something really fucked up.
Yeah, you know the part where they just attempted to murder fucking Maya?
They didn't mean to.
Like, the building down? I know they did it, but holy shit.
They thought they did for a while. But yeah, like, but in P4, like, the shadows always appear when a character just gets introduced. So like, they haven't had quite, like, the time to, like, personally deal with it, those kind of, like, feelings.
Yeah.
So, like,
the characters just got introduced. It's this pretty, like, constant formula throughout P4.
Yeah, so, like, there is a difference there, which I kind of appreciated, but yeah, like, just wanted to, like, say, like, there is a context to there's a different context to the shadows in Persona 2 and the shadows in Persona 4.
Yeah, and I will say right now, the P2 shadows are easily my favorite.
I'd say the ones in Eternal Punishment in particular, but
yeah,
we'll get to
the
that.
Eternal Punishment ones in particular when you're in the final dungeon, but I also like the Innocent Sin ones.
Yeah,
because one thing I really liked in, like, the shadow fights in, like, Innocent Sin is when the personas for, like, each of the different versions of the characters, like, are talking with each other, like, saying what their true motives, like, what they believe in is correct.
Yeah. And I mean, the shadows in P4 were pretty blunt, but the shadows in P2, holy shit.
They don't hold back at all. Like,
the one in particular for a character like Lisa who just outright calls her a whore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like,
goddamn.
Like, yeah, so, like, once, like Masquerade's dealt with, the shadows are dealt with, but then you still have Hitler, and all of these rumors start spiraling out of fucking control. Things get really fucking weird.
Yeah, like, during the final dungeon, you fight aliens.
You fight aliens in, like, this weird spaceship, but that, like, raises the like, main city above from the rest of the earth.
And it changes, like, the homeworld theme into this, like, really depressing kind of deal, and the whole city is just in the sky.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane.
It's pretty insane.
Really insane.
And then in the final dungeons, Zababa, like, things get, like, fucking strange. Aliens show up, like, reflections of, like, the character's fear start showing up.
Yeah, whatever the character thinks is what happens.
And then
for example, the manifestation of Ikichi's dad pops up, and you have to fight him.
The one who busts through the wall screaming at Ikichi!
And then at the end of it all, you fight Hitler, and he turns out to be crawling chaos himself.
Nyarlathotep.
Nyarlathotep.
That's a
And-
funny word.
But let's just call him Gnarly for now.
We'll call him
Hey,
Gnarly.
Gnarly.
'Cause and like, we'll get into Gnarly later. Because holy shit, I have a lot to say about Gnarly. Fucking hell.
One of my absolute favorites. I love Gnarly.
But like, it turned out all of this rumor shit was basically because of Gnarly's
It was a
influence.
bet!
It was a
It
bet
was-
between him and Philemon, where like, if humanity like anything humanity could think of got its own way, would humanity destroy itself or save itself?
Philoa going with the save itself part, and Gnarly going with the destroy itself. And Gnarly kind of cheated a bit.
Gnarly had its influence over like people, like in particular Jun. That's why Jun became the Joker, because like Gnarly directly went to Jun. Like, I don't know if it's Gnarly if it killed his dad or not, but
I'm not sure on that part. I would have to check.
All I know is that later down the road in the past, Gnarly took the disguise of Jun's dad, which obviously influenced him to become the Joker, I want to say.
Yeah, that was
I
his
could be wrong.
influence. And then Jun, of course, realizes, wait a minute, you're not my daddy.
You're not my father.
And-
And then Gnarly just becomes everyone's dad.
and then at the end of it, Innocent Sin, Gnarly fucking just blows up Earth, stabs Maya with the spear that fucking Jesus Christ himself got speared with, because that spread through a rumor or something. And everything is just fucked. But then at the end, one thing can change them. If they like erase them meeting each other in the past, it would create an alternate reality where they could live, where the world wasn't destroyed. And that happens, and that setting is the one used for Eternal Punishment.
Yeah. Where this time you don't meet the innocent sin cast, instead you take on a brand new cast that's filled with the majority of adults.
Which is a really interesting thing.
Like, you have the one returning character in the party, well, two technically, but like one of them much later on.
Much
He's more
later
like
on.
constantly showing up, which being Tatsuya. But the main one you control now is Maya from the last game. She lost a bit of her personality. She's a bit of a silent character now, but you
Personality
play
removed?
her now.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's the first time, or probably one of the only times in Persona where you play as a female protagonist.
I think it's one of the few times in SNT in particular. Like, there's that P3 Portable, and I think SNTF.
SMT if female is the canon one, yeah.
Yeah, so like, in terms of canon females, there are only two. In terms of females overall, in SNT, there are three.
Yeah.
Maya being one of them, with a sad removal of personality, but whatever.
Hey, you gotta make sacrifices.
I like there are still some form of interactions there that like kind of hint at a form of personality, so it's not the worst, but still.
It kind of shows that, man, SNT kind of just needs to go away from the silent protagonist thing.
Yeah, honestly. I would greatly appreciate that.
Same. But yeah, you get new party members. You get Ulala, who is Maya's roommate. You get Katsuya, who's Tatsuya's like brother, who's also a detective.
Katsuya.
I
Katsuya.
love Katsuya.
Oh no, Katsuya's like my favorite character in all of P2. But regardless, and then there's this rumor gatherer with like a mysterious past called Baofu, and he's fucking awesome too.
I think you mean Ozzy Osbourne.
He is just Ozzy Osbourne, yes, but he uses coins to battle, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But from there, there is a new group of people, sort of like Masquerade, called the New World Order, who basically want to like, who are like, man has committed so much sin and they forgot about their dreams, so they kind of want to reset the world or something.
Led by Tatsuzo.
Tatsuzo, the father of I think he was the leader of. No, it wasn't the leader, but he was like a general Masquerade.
He
called
was
Tatsuya
a general, yes, named Tatsuya.
Pseudo. And yes, the name is very similar to the protagonist, and I've played both games.
There is no relation, it's stupid.
It's really stupid. And I want to say something right off the bat, man. I didn't really care for the whole New World Order thing in Eternal Punishment. I liked the sort of Masquerade thing in...
Well, the thing with like the Masquerade is that relates to the main character's pasts. With the New World Order, that's just kind of there.
It's kind of there, but like a lot of things brought on by Masquerade were also brought on by two people who kind of just like they had all these beliefs that weren't necessarily true, but spread as rumors. Like, there was something kind of ironic about, like, the intentions of two completely innocent people spiraling out of control because of rumors, and the New World Order doesn't really do that. They're just kind of assholes.
Yeah, they're just kind of dicks.
Yeah,
They
which
just
is, you
kind of
know,
want to destroy the world to rid of all of sin. That's basically it.
which was the one story beat in Innocent Sin I like more than Eternal Punishment, because that was just not interesting to me.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree. Doesn't help that Tatsuzo just barely has any screen time.
Barely any screen time when you
And
fight.
if the time you confront him, he's already gone basically insane and killed everyone else. And you just
He's not-
easily take him down, and you take out his dragon that he summoned.
two of the easiest fights in the game, which was anticlimactic, but yeah.
Yeah, that didn't help.
Yeah, you have to stop this New World Order, and like, it's very clear Nyarlathotep is at it again because he is trying to repeat things from Innocent Sin to hope to set the world into destruction again from this side.
Yeah. He's hoping to, like, create the parallels, which he starts with Tatsuya Suro, where he, like, basically tells him of the other side, as it's called, which is basically Innocent Sin's world.
Yeah.
And he fills him up with these memories, and that causes him to become the new Joker of the game.
And the Joker in Eternal Punishment is something else than the Innocent Sin one. Basically, what happens is, in Innocent Sin, you could, like, do a Joker thing, and he would grant you a wish. In this thing, you call up the Joker and ask him to murder someone for you.
Yeah, and that in the end ends up spreading this kind of virus.
A virus called the Joker Curse, where anyone who called someone up to get murdered ends up becoming a Joker himself, him or herself, which is basically just someone who is kill crazy and can't be stopped unless they murdered the original target.
Yeah. Which affects characters that you'd probably be surprised to see.
Yeah. It's really... That ends up leading to some really interesting moments. But you do that, you stop the New World Order, and lo and behold, Nyarlathotep is at it again, and this time in particular he is screwing around with Tatsuya. And, like, remember when I said they, like, all had to forget their memories in order to create the new site? When they were crossing over to that site, Tatsuya was like, wait, no, I don't want that. No, right at the wrong
He
moment.
committed the Innocent Sin.
And now he has to suffer an eternal punishment.
It's
Ah!
perfect.
So
The
because of
titles
that-
basically says what happens, but throughout the game, you don't really quite understand why Tatsuya is the way he is. Like, how did he retain his memories? Why is this the case? But
And
then
then
you
you
learned
find-
that he just never wanted things to change. He refused it.
And that was really... But because of that, the threat now looms on the fact that everyone from Innocent Sin, if they remember, it will happen again.
We're fucked.
Yeah.
So the
So-
final dungeon is basically going through, like, trying to get to Gnarly while also dealing with the characters of Eternal Punishment Shadows, which, if you do the correct choices, the characters of Innocent Sin will not remember. However, if you fuck up those choices with interactions with the Shadows, then they will remember, and the final boss with Gnarly's first form will become more tougher.
Yeah. And-
Ooh.
Gnarly outright fucks with Tatsuya because of this.
Yeah. Like Maya doesn't really have an interaction with her own Shadow, but she does have the interaction with Gnarly himself.
Yeah.
And he outright, like, tries to lure her into shooting him. And if you do that, that hurts Tatsuya. He basically wants you to get angry. He's playing with you. He knows the kind of guy he is.
Yeah. and
He's
he fucking
eternal
owns-
chaos. He's everyone's shadow. He can't be stopped. But you do stop him.
You stop him. Tatsuya sadly moves on to, like, the side of Innocent Sin, which is an empty city. Well, I mean, it's not an empty city, but it's a city in an empty world. All of his friends are still in this side, so they're gone.
He's basically alone.
He's basically alone. I think Tatsuya is still there, so he has someone, but Jesus Christ.
Either way, he's still alone. He'll never get his friends back ever again.
It's
And,
a very sad ending.
yeah.
But
Uh,
it's pretty happy for everyone else.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
not for Tetsuya.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm still crying about it. Don't worry.
I'm still crying on the inside from watching that ending.
And that's the general plot of Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment. And it sounds kind of basic, but what I think really helps this narrative become probably the most solid narrative I've seen in a JRPG yet are the characters.
Yeah.
which are some of the strongest characters in Persona and RPGs in general, I'd argue.
Any game, I'd argue.
Oh yeah.
Like, we're not even gonna put restrictions here. These characters are legendary in my eyes.
They're so well written, it's ridiculous.
Like, the amount of, like, okay, Innocent Sins characters can be seen as a lot more comical, but they've also got a lot of heart to them. But then you get to Eternal Punishment, and you see more of, like, the adult kind of aspects, which shit they gotta deal with, and, like, it's got its funny moments here and there, but it feels a lot more grounded.
It deals with very adult things like, you know, not being able, like not even having any dreams anymore, just kind of going through the motions of life.
Yeah, with Katsuya.
With Katsuya, having to deal with shit that just makes you, having had a traumatic experience which ends up making you really cynical towards everything that's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Or generally just not feeling accepted anywhere and feeling like you're incompetent and unnecessary compared to someone else in your life.
Yeah, like your bestest friend who is like seems to be just the king of the world at the moment. Here you are, just down here. It's like, well, why am I here? She's there. I don't understand. I've tried so hard, but I'm not getting anywhere.
And not getting anywhere.
And it leads
And
to stupid decisions. It leads we all do stupid shit at points.
it's an aspect of humanity I don't feel video games deal enough with.
Yeah. Like, I think the moment like that really hit me, and Eternal Punishment in particular, is when you deal with Tatsuya Sudo, like when he's like the Joker and such. When you deal with him and you get rid of that parallel, you start realizing about the Joker curse going on, and you go to the gym to go find Olala, who went on her own kind of deal, and you end up finding out that she wanted Maya dead. At one
Yeah.
point during like a drunken fit, she called up the Joker and wanted to kill Maya out of jealousy.
And like, we've all had those moments where like, man, I just kind of like, you're so jealous of someone you almost just wish they were dead.
You just wish they were gone. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to deal with this anymore. It's a blind fit of rage.
It's a blind fit of rage, especially like on a drunken rage. Like, God. I think that's the moment when it started hitting me. Another moment when it really hit me was near the end with Katsuya, where he had to give up on his dream.
A
And so he
pastry
could-
baker.
Like, it's kind of goofy in a way, but
It's
like,
very silly, but at the same time, you're like, huh.
like he he's like, you get this image that, oh yeah, he's someone who's at the top of his job, he knows what he's doing, when in the end it's not really like a profession he ever wanted to take. But
He only did it because of his father.
he wanted to prove his father's innocence, and he wanted to protect his little brother. So because of that, he ultimately had to
He
give up.
made the sacrifice.
Yeah.
And like the moment where he has his gun pointed at Tatsu because the shadow is like talking shit, and then he does like pulls back and shoots the shadow is one of the coolest moments of the game.
Oh my God, that's so
Because that shows the fucking relationship between him and Tatsuya, and that is a highlight.
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that is what I like to see.
Let's dial back a bit. How about we just kind of talk about these characters one by one?
Yeah, I think that'd work.
Yeah.
Where would you want to
Yeah.
start?
Should
think-
we start?
I think, ironically, we should save the protagonists for last.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay.
So let's start off with Innocent Sins cast, because that's the first one.
Alright.
The first one you meet would be Lisa.
Yeah, Ginkgo, Ginkgo, Ginkgo.
Okay.
Which the game actually turns her name to Ginkgo after that comment.
Which is great. Even Eternal Punishment did that for that brief scene.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh.
I'm shocked they even kept that in.
Right, but it's great. I'm glad they did. But yeah, Lisa, probably, I'd argue the least interesting out of everyone here, but that's not saying a lot.
Oh yeah, no, I still think she like has something to bring to the table regardless.
I really liked her struggle where she didn't know what her dream was. She like, throughout the game you feel like, oh, Jesus Christ, she's clingy to the protagonist. But there's actually a reason for that, because she doesn't really have much else to cling on to.
Yeah. Like, okay, so basically, like, one of the things, like, there for her is that she is a white girl. She is from America, and then, like, a lot of people think she immediately like, speaks English, but that's really not the case.
No.
It's a misconception.
Yeah.
Because, she's white, so obviously she's gotta speak it. But no, she speaks, like, another version of Chinese. I think it was Cantonese?
Yeah, she speaks Cantonese. That's where the whole Chinyan thing comes from.
Along with, like, Japanese.
Yeah.
And of course, like kind of like Chie in a way, if you played Persona 4, she's also a huge fan of like martial artists.
Yeah.
It's shown through her fighting style. She's the monk of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like throughout the game, she kind of just has to deal with the fact that like, no, I can still create my own dream. I could just be my own person, really.
Mm-hmm.
Not have to go for like, oh, I have to speak English because I'm white. Like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna be my own person. I'm gonna make my own future and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like compared to like the other characters, I'd argue she doesn't do too much.
Again,
she's got her moments, like the big moment like where she had the little concert.
Yeah.
And her confrontation with the Shadow, which was nice.
Yeah, where she
and just the general relationship with the main character.
Yeah.
Because there's a bit of a little love triangle there that we'll get to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why we're probably not saying much on her, because again, she doesn't have as much going on as the rest, but she's a fun character. She has her moments. I still like her in the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on from that to Eikichi. Holy shit.
Oh, Eikichi, my boy. The ultimate bro. The bro characters are the best.
I love bro characters.
Yeah. But this time, he's a bit different. He actually gets the girl in the end.
He actually gets the girl as opposed to other Persona games where they end up just losing them. With Junfei around the end. With Yosuke, almost immediately.
One would argue he never had the girl in the first place.
Hey, if they tried to work it out, he could probably get it in the end, but too late. He's
too late.
Dead.
But yeah, Eikichi has to deal with the fact that he did things really wrong as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At first, he seems like a pretty narcissistic guy where he likes to talk about how amazing of a person he is. Which is funny considering how back then, that really was not the case.
Back then, he was a complete coward. He was kind of fat, too.
Little chubby coward.
Probably got bullied quite a bit.
Oh yeah, you could tell.
Yeah. So, like, but there was also, like, besides the fucked up thing where they almost killed Maya, he also had a girl who was, like, nice to him back then, but then she got fat and he was, like an asshole to her or something.
Yeah.
And, like, when he starts off an innocent sin, he's like, yeah, you gotta be a man, you gotta be a leader, you gotta be great and stuff. And, like, but like, as you go along through the game, you get the sense that he doesn't really feel like he really, like, he doesn't really think he's all that. But, at the end of, like, his shadow fight, where, like, he gets the girl in the end,
yeah,
he's like, you know, yeah. He's like, you know what? I'll fucking become that person for like my friends and my girlfriend now.
Yeah. It's super sweet stuff, especially when he confronts his shadow about that.
Where it's like, yeah, you're right. So I'm just gonna change.
I'm just gonna become better.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking kick your ass
with my guitar gun.
You ain't worth my time.
With Eikichi, it's like it's not so much his development, but like his personality that really sells him as a character.
Like whenever like his friends go through struggles and such, he feels like he himself is to blame for a lot of it. Like particularly with the Maya incident.
Yeah, he feels he and Lisa in particular felt the most guilt out of all of that.
Like he'll cry about it and he'll like constantly cry, like stating how sorry he is.
Yeah. But at the same time, that's also why he feels he needs to help people in such situations.
Yeah, like a lot of the moments where Lisa isn't particularly sad, or like they'll constantly have their fits. It's kind of like the bro and the girl thing with like Yukari or Junpei, or at least or Chie with Yosuke.
Yeah.
But with Akechi, he feels that like whenever that happens, don't worry, I'm here and I'm gonna help. I don't want my friends to be sad.
Yeah. Sometimes you feel like he does the play thing to almost cheer Lisa up in a way.
Yeah, it's to get her mind off of like the sad truth.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just one of the strengths there is just how well they play off of each other.
Yeah, the whole cast in Innocent Sin plays off extremely well, I'd argue. More so than any other cast.
More so than any other cast, you feel that this is a group of friends.
And most certainly they are, considering their past.
Yeah. But yeah, again, most of our discussion I feel will be put on the Eternal Punishment cast, but more than any, I think what helps Innocent Sins cast to still like stand with them is just their personality and their chemistry together.
Yeah, well, certainly.
But then we like, since we're not talking about the protagonists, and both protagonists are in Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment's party, that moves us on to the fifth party member, Jun.
God damn it.
He's too pure. That shouldn't have happened to him.
Let's get this out of the way. Yes, he is the gay kid from Persona 2. There.
Yeah, no, that's what a lot of people know him as, and that guy in P5 kind of looks like him.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the majority of the comparisons.
And some people like to joke about he's the gay child of Tetsuya and Jun.
But Jun doesn't join your party until pretty late in the game, actually.
Real late, like end game.
Yeah. And, like, he becomes the Joker because, well, first of all, Nyarlathotep is fucking around with him.
Yeah, okay, so, like, the relationship between his parents at the time, like, when they were getting married, like, his father was a teacher and his mother was an idol star, it wasn't going so well, so the idol star ended up spreading these awful rumors about his father, and that's what ended up making him commit suicide in the clock tower, where it said that gears crushed his body.
But it's almost like Jin wasn't aware, because immediately after that, Nyarlathotep showed up as his father. But Nyarlathotep first started acting as kind of the cool dad John always wanted.
Yeah. He's got black clothes, black hair, red streaks, he's awesome.
He's like the dad you always wanted when you were 5 years old in 2006.
And through that, and like after the thing happens with Maya, Jin starts feeling so much guilt over it, and like Nyarlathotep fucking jumped on that. And he manipulated Jun into becoming the Joker. And like we mentioned before, when like the Joker first meets the party members, because like I think the party members did some weird mental gymnastics on themselves or something, or Gnarly made them forget, where like they don't remember that they like first met.
Yeah, they try to force themselves to forget what happened.
Yeah, but Jin remembers, and when he starts the Joker like, "Hey guys," and they don't remember him, he gets pissed.
Yeah, he's really upset, and that's like kind of what Joker really wants to accomplish by the end of the game, is try and make them remember, so that way his revenge will be even sweeter.
Because more than anyone, Jun places heavy importance on those days 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Like he adores Maya, he adores all his friends. They're super important to him. And like when he first joined your party, he feels immense guilt for everything that he's done. And his arc kind of involves him dealing with like, yeah, I did that, but my friends are still like there for me and stuff.
Yeah, even after all of that, they still care.
And like, except that, hey, maybe like I can turn myself around, and I think out of everyone in Innocent Sin, Jun despite him being late, Jun probably had the strongest arc of anyone there.
Yeah, because it fits well with his friends by that point, because you understand, like, what happened back then.
Yeah.
And, like, the kind of struggles that Jun himself went through. Like, I mean, Jun nearly fucking died around that point, because, like, his persona at the time when he was the Joker was gnarly himself. And, of course, he removes himself as the persona, just kind of leaves him to die. Well, thankfully, Philemon gives him another chance, and basically transfers over Yukido's abilities over to him.
Yeah, which manifests in his persona that he can use in battle when he, like, joins your party.
Yeah.
And, like, I know it seems like we're describing them with really simple terms, but that's just because, well, a lot of what makes P2's like character development really interesting is that it's very slow building.
It's subtle.
In a lot
Very
of
simple.
in a lot of Japanese, not even games, just Japanese media in general, you'll get like these big speeches about how they've changed and how we're going to think and how characters are going to do things differently now. And I mean, I enjoy that. That's why I'm into Japanese media. But there's something really nice about like seeing characters subtly like accept things and just grow through
You
it.
notice the small differences as the game goes on. Like, they're not just going to outright say, "Oh, Lisa, don't worry, I'm a better person now. I will protect you. Oh, for all my friends."
No, it's they just show that they're the kind of person through their dialogue and their actions and stuff.
And you catch that, and you're like, "That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat."
In fact, like I expected the shadows to be those big like character reveal moments, but they're really not. They're kind of just they're a culmination of everything that happens, but they're subtle about it, and they make you think, oh wait, so like this and oh wow,
They're a review.
yeah.
It's time to see if you've truly like developed here,
And all of them did in a
and they
way.
all did. And then they kicked the Shadows' asses.
Yeah, and that's pretty satisfying.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
And then they kick Hitler and Gnarly's ass.
We'll get to Gnarly soon, but let's talk about the new faces you meet in Eternal Punishment. Starting with Ulala.
Not the one from Space Channel 5, mind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone likes to make
Everyone
that
jokes
joke.
about that.
God.
Well, no, Ulala is a very unsuccessful girl. We'll just put it like that.
The one thing you know about her from Innocent Sin was that she got scammed
Yeah, by another guy.
by another guy who basically used her. And
Yeah,
she's had
he-
shit luck
he-
with
like,
guys,
he's-
shit luck with furthering her career.
Shit luck with men in general.
Yep.
It's just shit luck on general for Ulala. The thing that was a constant, it was Maya was always usually there for her.
Always usually there for her, but what made that annoying was that Maya was just in a much better place in life.
Yeah. Because
She
she
had her-
was always there for her, it gets to the point where it's just kind of like this constant, and it eventually gets to you like, come on, when will this end? When will it change?
It's this constant reminder that other people did fit or are like reaching their goals and their dreams while you are trying to but struggling so hard. And that gets to a boiling point one drunk night where she calls up the Joker to assassinate her.
Yeah. And I mean, it's unsuccessful at one point, but then later on it catches up to her when the Joker virus ends up spreading, and like she's scared of this realization. She's like, "Oh God, I realized what I did that night. I need to barricade myself right now before they get to me." So
And
she
it's
basically
funny-
locks herself up in the gym, and that's a dungeon for you to go through. And then you eventually reach her, and you find out, oh shit.
But she feels incredible remorse for it, like straight away.
Yeah.
She is just like, oh shit, I did that? Wow. What the fuck is wrong with me?
So she feels like she needs to make amends.
Yeah. And she does that by continuing to help out the party until everything with the New World Order is like...
And be
taken
more
care
honest
of.
with the group about how she feels on things.
Yeah.
And that's shown through like how she like wishes to deal with situations later on when the group is discussing what to do next.
There is this really fucking great line from her, like in the Ocean Temple dungeon, where she's like, Jesus Christ, I can't tell what's a rumor and what's real anymore.
Yeah.
And it's great that she says that because that's how I would assume like a regular person would react in that situation.
That's how I would react.
And she's
That's
kind
what everyone would react to.
of seen as the dumb one of the group, but what I found interesting about her is that she is the first one to like reach out a hand to someone or know when someone is in distress, particularly Baofu.
Yeah. Who was constantly poking fun at her. It's kind of like it's a parallel to like Akechi with Lisa.
Yeah, except it actually blossoms into something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is awesome. I
Yeah,
wish more games did that with like kind of relationships with party members.
but no, everyone needs Senpai's dick. Ugh.
Senpai.
Oh, oh, no, no senpai.
But yeah, speaking of Baofu,
Oh my god, I love
Ozzy Osbourne.
Balfu.
Baofu is just great.
The absolute, like, probably up there as one of my favorites, easily, just for like his backstory in general.
He had to, like, he was like, what would you call, like a hotshot or something? Like
Yeah,
he was very, he was very confident in everything that he wanted to do. He was he was someone who always wanted to reach out to his dreams no matter what and just go for it.
like you did like a really cool thing that Innocent Dissin does is that you do see all the Eternal Punishment characters in this game, but like of course they're just NPCs there, but they built up something that carries over to Eternal Punishment because in Innocent Sin, the only time you really saw Baofu out in public was a flashback when young Tatsuya and Jun were out looking at stuff, and a drunk version of him comes out like as like his regular self, and he's basically like lecturing them about goals in life.
Yeah. What I find that's something I want to talk about. It kind of reminds me of a quote I think Kaneko said once, where he says, "I hate the idea of a chosen one. It implies that no one else matters besides like a couple of particular people in life."
Absolutely.
And Megaten's always done that, where like every time like the heroes are just some random civilians or whatever. But I think what makes it so strong in Eternal Punishment is the fact that like you see these people as just like regular other Joes in the city, who are now who are now the ones going out to like stop Gnarly.
The heroes.
Yeah. I don't know. I always thought like that in particular made that message stronger than any other Megaten.
I'd say
What I
so,
can tell
yeah.
anyway.
I mean, it's not always like a bad case with the chosen one, because some can like do the formula pretty interestingly. But I do prefer this method over a classic. You are the chosen one, Lodo. Go stop the dragon. Oh,
Uh, but but yeah, like yeah, that's something I wanted to mention. But like going back to Baofu, like that like him always going out there to achieve his dreams ended up getting his beloved one killed in Taiwan.
yeah. So really, like, what ends up happening is that he basically is using his like partners here, like the party members, in order to get to this Taiwanese mafia guy named Young Pao, I think his name is.
Yeah, who was responsible for the murder?
Yeah, who is also a part of the New World Order, and that's what leads them to that.
Yeah.
And then later on, it's introduced that his real identity is like Kaoru Saga, I think it is.
Yeah.
And he was actually a Japanese public prosecutor.
Yeah.
And originally, everyone thought he died, along with his partner.
But no, he hit himself. But what in particular what changed about them is his personality. He became someone who always stays after his dreams, to a incredibly cynical person who thinks dreams are a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
And who has a very cynical outlook on adult life and all that thing.
Which is clearly shown through like any kind of back talk with Ulala.
Yeah.
Or Ulala was trying to make like a positive comment, but he's like, just shut up.
Yeah.
You don't know nothing, stupid.
He's again a very cynical person. But like as he grows to accept, it's like, hey, maybe like he has to deal with the fact that he has to move on from said death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's shown through his confrontation with the Shadow, where his persona, Odysseus, is basically killing his partner. He is constantly banging her into a tree with his like hand around her neck, choking her. And there's an option to attack it or don't. And if you don't, that's the right choice. And he ends up getting to talk to the spirit of his partner and realizing like what he's got to do now.
Yeah. and like he accepts her death. He moves on, and then he stops his like shady like rumor gathering business and moves on to finding like missing people with Ulala.
Yeah,
Which
a much better occupation.
Yeah, a much better occupation with a new partner, which showed that he had moved on.
Yeah, and you see him paying his respects to his partner at the gravesite at the ending.
Yeah, yeah,
It's really touching.
yeah. It really is, and it's a kind of arc that I just don't see. Like I see like arcs of people having to like move on from death, but not really done this well.
Not like this. Like you feel like you understand it completely,
Yeah,
and it hits you.
it hits you. It also makes you realize why Baofu is the way he is. And I think that's something Peter does very well, making you understand why the characters are the way they are. Like, it's not just that they, like, something I fucking hate in Japanese games is when characters are a certain trope just to be that trope.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
never evolve from that.
And they never evolve from that. But these people have personalities, and they have reasons behind the personalities.
These are people
Yeah, it feels like a story about actual people. And
with ridiculous persona abilities.
yeah, well, I mean, it still has to be a video game after all. But
It's still
yeah.
gotta be a video game. But you know what? I'll take it
Yeah,
because personas are fucking cool.
yeah. And so then moving on from the last
Well,
Like, new
well,
party.
before we move on, can we just talk about how Buffalo just killed like a man with just coins and
Yeah, no,
the bullets
but,
with some
like,
coins?
like he fights like the mafia boss that killed that like assisted in his lover's murder. That said mafia boss is like dual wielding submachine guns.
And he's just got coins.
He's got coins. Mafia boss starts shooting bullets at them with said dual wielding submachine guns, and he reflects all of them and kills said mafia boss with nothing but coins. It's cool as shit.
It's so cool. It's ridiculous, but it's cool.
Ah, that was a great moment.
Oh yeah. I loved that ambush part, even if the boss fight itself was pretty stupid.
No, you mean the machine thing?
Yes.
Ah,
Oh, it's also pretty stupid. Fighting Guido again.
Okay, I didn't have to do that.
Yeah, I didn't.
I did.
We'll get to like the extra P1 shit later.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll scream. I'll scream when we talk about that then.
But yeah, then there's the last guy introduced in Eternal Punishment, Katsuya Suo, the protagonist of Innocent Sin's brother.
Yeah, which I mean, like at first I forgot that he even had a brother in Innocent Sin, but then it became quite apparent in Eternal Punishment, where he's one of the first characters you come across.
He's
Yeah.
the second party member you get after Ulala.
He's already there investigating the shit at the high school.
And like with the context of Innocent Sin and early parts of Eternal Punishment, you feel like, oh man, this guy is just a fucking straight up detective. He's hard boiling. He knows what he's doing. He's got it all.
But then, like as the game goes on, you see a different angle of him.
Yeah. First of all, he really fucking likes cats.
Even though he's allergic to them.
Even though he's
He's really
allergic to them.
That's why his persona is a cat.
I am Helios.
And and that already shows a side of him like, okay, he's not always serious. He can be kind of a fucking nerd sometimes.
Oh yeah, clearly, especially with all the times he's constantly blushing around Maya.
Yeah.
He's kind of like constantly in a loss for words.
Just
So
a
that
big
kind of
old
serious factor is starting to deplete at its points.
Yeah, which is great. You just get another angle to him, and it's fun. And then like something it seems out of nowhere, but it makes sense. Because you feel like, okay, so why is a person like this also trying to be like this hard-boiled like detective, you know?
But then you
But
get
then you-
around to the end where, like, the revelation.
Where he never wanted to be a detective.
He didn't even want to be a detective. His occupation that he wanted was a fucking pastry maker. But like we mentioned earlier when we were trying to, like, describe this shit, he did it because of his problems with his father and his brother.
Yeah.
They were in a bit of a pickle.
Yeah. So he had to become a detective. I think he also there was something his dad was accused of that he wanted to like prove wrong or something. I'm not entirely sure on that.
Yes, that was the case, though.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, like protecting his brother.
Oh yeah, no, wait, I remember. It was like this frame up that happened with Tatazo.
Oh yeah. And like that, we mention dreams constantly because that's the prevailing theme of Persona 2. Dreams.
Yeah, that's what the ending scene, the ending theme is singing about.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I
Whoa.
like that. You can like you could do anything.
But like there's stuff like there's stuff like either giving up on your dreams or not being able to reach them, but having to outright reject them in order to do the right thing. Which is something I definitely don't see in any game ever.
Yeah, it's really apparent in Katsuya's scenario,
Yeah.
like as we explained there.
But in the end, he doesn't. I mean, there were moments where he outright resented like his brother and his father for it, but in the end, they're still his family.
Yeah, when he's holding like Tatsuya up at gunpoint.
There was also this really nice scene where like at the boat section, where like that was at the point where they still didn't exactly know what Tatsuya was up to.
Yeah,
So and like he feels fucking like he feels like shit about it. He thinks he's just done something completely wrong as a brother.
he feel like he's been a bad brother and he's failed in like his goal.
And it really shows how worried he constantly is about his brother and how much they really just mattered. Like Tatsuya matters to him in the end.
And the ending scene where they're at the beach having like a talk, like the Tatsuya from that world, of course, about
Yeah.
like how would it be like to become a detective, and then he ends up teaching him the ways of doing so.
Yeah. It's just
So
it's really
a
nice
nice
stuff.
passing on. Like they really do care for each other. They're family.
They're family. It's a really strong like family bond, which is something. Again, I feel like I say this a lot. Something games don't really show much.
Yeah.
But now we move on to the two protagonists. And Jeff, I know you haven't said a lot, so why don't you like start off with Maya?
Okay. Now, obviously, Innocent Sin, Maya is not the main protagonist. She's one of the more important characters, though. And in Eternal Punishment, she is. But Innocent Sin, she's a pretty I'd say one of the best female characters in the game and the entire series, in my honest opinion.
Honestly, I think Maya's my favorite female in Persona as a whole.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Like, okay, at first, like, obviously when you meet her and like throughout like beginning of the game, she is kind of a goofball at points. And then later down the road, you realize she's like, oh wait a minute,
She is basically how are you doing, fellow kids?
yeah. But then like after like when the building gets on fire, she gets really scared and like, wait a minute, why is she scared of fire? And then the time where like, and then it shows like the time where like they try to burn her down. The building's like, oh, that's why.
I think what's really strong about it is that she has shit like she's obviously like fucking terrified at points, but
Yeah.
she keeps going because like she wants to protect everyone. She's like a mother figure to everyone else.
That's how it was shown in the past, where like everyone else is younger than Maya, and of course, like when she had to move at one point, she was sorry about it. Of course, they didn't want her to go, so what they planned to do was to lock her up in this shrine to keep her from going. Of course, that catches on fire, so that just leads to a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like. There's this great moment in Mount Iwata where like which is the place where they recall their memories, and like there's Maya's shadow who appears way before everyone else's, who's like trying to goad them to feel like really guilty and stuff. But then Maya shows up at the end of the dungeon, and like the shadow tries to make her feel like bad about what the kids did to her, but she doesn't resent them in the slightest.
Yeah. That was a really weird point in the game where like the shadow replaces Maya at that part. You can obviously
Yeah.
tell it's her, and it's like all this weird dialogue with her where it's like talking about like these really negative things.
And there's also like her portrait like really subtly changes.
Yeah, with like
her
red
eyes are
glowing
different
eyes.
Yeah. And when she like gets like a status effect, she just becomes fucking pissed.
Oh no, you didn't.
You fucking poisoned me, you little bitch.
But like that's really what shows Maya's like strength as a person, where Her Shadow's like, don't you feel, don't, like, you almost got fucking killed. Don't you feel like at least a little resentment? And she's just like, eh.
Nah.
And like, she's like, that attitude just keeps going throughout the game, and it's great. She's like a really well, it's like her motto. It's like her motto.
Stay positive. Positive
Stay
thinking.
positive. Let's positive thinking.
Let's
Let's
positive
positive
thinking. Oh, even when. And
Yep.
here's the big moment. Even when she gets stabbed right through the chest and is dying right in front of Tatsuya's and the rest of his friends' face, she says, "Stay positive."
Gotta keep up the positive thinking.
Mr. Bun Bun will not be happy.
Well, like she's bleeding out and dying, and the one thing her one main concern is like, forget about me, don't be sad.
Yeah. Otherwise, that's the end of the world.
Yeah.
And they can't help it. One of their greatest friends is dying right in front of them, and there's nothing they can do, because even if they attempt healing, like this, the way she was stabbed was with the Spear of Destiny.
The Spear of Destiny, aka the spear Jesus Christ himself got stabbed with.
Which was spread through a fucking rumor.
Yep.
That out of all people, fucking Hitler has.
It's amazing.
She's just a great, strong character.
Too bad they couldn't have kept that in Eternal Punishment, though.
That was my biggest problem with Eternal Punishment. Like, story-wise, I mean, just...
I wish that she got her personality back still.
Yeah.
Like,
Because you could
Like,
see it through some of the dialogue choices, but...
sometimes,
but-
despite controlling her, sometimes I just felt like Maya wasn't there. Like, oh yeah, Maya's part of this.
oh yeah, Maya's here.
Maya's here.
I thought it was playing as Tetsuya for a second.
Like, it just doesn't feel like Maya's there, you know?
It feels like we lost something when we went to this alternate kind of reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he also gained something in the form of Tatsuya.
Yeah, I mean that's still nice, but we still lost Maya though.
Yeah. We did.
So again, sacrifices must be made, I guess.
Even though they really shouldn't have to be, but yeah. Because of that, we gained Tatsuya with personality. And hoo boy.
Ooh.
Boy.
Ooh,
That's-
Tetsuya.
Tatsuya is my favorite.
He is my favorite male protagonist in any Persona game.
He's the only one with personality, so yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's why. Like, obviously, like the first Persona game had no personality, which is fine because it's the first game of the series. It's fine.
It was he and Yuna Okami in particular were supposed to be reflections of the main player.
Yeah.
And
Like,
it works really well for P1 considering like the discussion with the Shadow and all the events you did throughout the game, but otherwise...
You doesn't have that.
Yu doesn't really have that. I find him to be the weakest protagonist because of that.
Yeah, and they kind of did the same thing for Minato and P3, but honestly,
I feel like they implied Minato had a personality, which is why the silent protagonist thing didn't really work
But
for him.
But yeah, because like he's got an established backstory that really relates to the plot of P3.
yeah,
So it's like he Maya, and if the Phantom turns out to be silent, would be like the biggest reasons why S&T having silent protagonists needs to stop.
Yeah. There's no need
Yeah.
for it anymore.
yeah,
When we can clearly make like amazing stories even better.
yeah, like a lot of other RPGs have shown that you can have main protagonists that can talk and have a great fucking story.
Well, some of my favorite examples include Tales of the Abyss, Tales of Vesperia, and The World Ends With You for like
Ooh,
quick off the cuff like.
ooh, Vesperia, ooh, Abyss.
Like just for quick like off the cuff what I can remember. But yeah, that's something like I feel RPGs in general need to stay away from. But yeah, Tatsuya has a personality in Eternal Punishment, and
Ooh,
I
he's
want-
a bit of a Debbie Downer.
I don't fucking blame him.
Yeah, I don't blame him either.
But like that's one of my favorite mysteries of Eternal Punishment is figuring out why exactly he's the Debbie Downer and like what exactly happened in this transition to the alternate world. Like how did he
And then,
retain these memories?
and then you found out how it's like, oh, no wonder he's a bit of a Debbie Downer.
He just didn't want to forget.
He just didn't want to forget the close friends he had in this life.
Like, it may not cost him the world, but I still don't really blame him if he spent all this time finally giving back his friends to the ones he really cared for. And then at the
And
end,
then just
he has to
loses
take
them.
them all away. Like, shit, I'd feel like Gilbert should be depressed if I had to do that.
But
So-
because of that, he has to suffer.
Yeah, in the beginning of Eternal Punishment, he's trying to prevent like this kind of crap like from happening, but he also just wanted to get anyone from the original game involved. So like when you first see him as the Deja Vu boy, he's constantly warning like the main cast, "Don't follow me. I got this. There's no reason for you to get involved." Especially since if they do get involved, well, we're screwed.
Yeah.
We're fucked.
His existence is known to Nyarlathotep. It's called by Nyarlathotep as the paradox.
Yeah, because like that basically like the moment he like did not want to forget, that creates a split in an alternate reality. Like this is
That-
not how the way the world should be, but it is.
I think that split not only made it so that the other side still existed technically, it also made it so that he didn't really sync up to like what was
Like
supposed to
that
be in
world's
its new-
version of Tatsuya.
what
Because when
was
he
supposed
ends
to
up going, then that world comes back. Like that world's version.
Yeah. And the thing is, initially he didn't even remember. There's this really tragic moment where you find out that, like, at the end of, like, Innocent Sin, like, on the other side, everyone, like, meets up again by accident.
Yeah,
it's really
which
and it-
including
and it's
Maya.
And it's this kind of hopeful moment, like, hey, maybe things will be alright for them.
But then
But
when Eternal Punishment happens with its intro, you realize when he bumped into Maya, that's when like his memory just snapped.
Everything came back to him, so what was initially supposed to be a sweet moment ended up being a tragic moment.
And throughout the game, it's just tragedy for him.
Yeah.
There's barely any uplifting parts for Tatsuya.
No, there's never really a moment of relief for him.
During the
Yeah.
final dungeon, three golden statues of his friend just pops up just to torment him. And I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, they tried to kill him at one point.
And Tatsuya just kind of accepts it.
Yeah.
No, he like 3 statues come up, like make him feel like shit for like they're like, oh, did you forget us or something? Like, what happened to the old times? And like, because of that,
to
he
be
gets
too rude.
coerced into going with them to like the shrine where they all met up,
Yeah.
where they tried to kill him for being the paradox, and he accepts it in a way, but like not before he does like what he needs to do with Nyarlathotep.
Yeah. And then like that's an amazing boss fight there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that
There's this-
really works for the plot.
Yeah, it was kind of sad in a way because like I took out the statues of Lisa and Ikichi first, and then there was Jun, and Jun was kind of like the healer and buff of the party, so he was like desperately trying to like heal himself and buff himself up, but it was futile. I mean,
Did you do the final blow with Tatsuya?
I think it was either him or Katsuya.
Okay. Because that would have been the worst.
Yeah. And like in the final dungeon, when you go through that, like Nyarlathotep has basically kidnapped like the rest of the Innocent Sin cast, and like if you made the wrong decisions, they'd remember, which would make Nyarlathotep a bitch and could potentially lead to the world being destroyed again.
Yeah. It would end up leading to the same events of Innocent Sin, and we can't have that.
So,
No,
but
can't.
then like every time like you save one of those guys from the shadows, Philemon has to take them away, and like. It's sad because that will be that every time that happens, that's the last time Tatsuya will see that person.
And it's even worse if you fail it, though, because then they wake up and they're crying to Tatsuya about it, like, oh no, I missed you so much, and Tatsuya's like, I'm sorry. You have to
Aw.
go. I'm sorry. And you feel really bad. Like, god damn, I failed.
Like usually with that kind of story, there's always a point of levity, whether it's near the end or at least sometime in between. There is absolutely zero levity when it comes to Tatsuya.
It's just constant shit for him.
Yeah.
Even the ending.
Yeah.
Because, like, it may seem like, alright, things are gonna get better, but for Tatsuya, like, he says he'll rebuild, but over in his world, there's not much.
There's Sumaru City, and that's where it ends.
That's it.
Everything else is destroyed, and again,
All of his friends
those-
are on this side of the world,
they don't exist there anymore.
so he's basically alone.
He's basically, and after the events of Innocent Sin, not even Sumaru City itself is really in that good of a shape. So, yeah. It's constant shit from throughout the entire game. And it's just sad.
It's just tragic.
It's almost, it's even sadder than what happened to Minato at the end of Persona 3. Because at least with Minato, everyone remembered him and he was satisfied with what happened.
Yeah, but like, with Tatsuya,
He has
like, especially
constantly-
since like he's got a more developed character here, you feel the impact a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just
Because it's
tragic.
especially apparent, like, when you do acquire him around the end of the game, and he starts, like, having more conversations with your current party members, and you start learning more about him and, like, how he feels. Like, he doesn't really understand, like, I think the train ride, in particular, where you're heading to, like, the ship from Innocent Sin, is one of
Yeah.
my favorite scenes. Because he's talking about, like, adulthood. Like, he doesn't understand how that goes. He's just kind of scared.
Yeah. Especially, yeah, he's talking about, like, mainly with Baofu of all people, which probably isn't the best influence, but
He doesn't know.
like, he's just scared. Not only because when he faces adulthood, again, it's at the other side. Like, I actually remember this line where, like, I think Baofu said, like, you look into his eyes, and he's been through more shit than we have, and we're adults.
Yeah. So now, like, when he gets to an adult, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Is there gonna be even more shit?
Who knows?
Like, that's the thing that hurts. It, like, Minato met his end, but, like, it was a very, like, I mean, people are still like, oh, please bring Minato back, but, like, it's pretty definitive what happened to him.
Yeah.
Tatsuya leaves on an kind of an ambiguous note that's still sad.
And since we don't speak Japan, we don't know how that last scenario in the PSP version of Eternal Punishment goes.
Yeah.
I
I like to know about it, but you know, Madoka Magica had to get in the way.
fucking magical girls.
Fuck magical girls.
Quote of the night.
But yeah, that's everyone. A lot of these characters actually end up in pretty, like, good positions. The only exception again is Tatsuya, who gets the fucking shit end of the stick. And part of why he got the shit end of the stick is because of this of mankind's collective dickishness, Nyarlathotep. Fuck him. What an
Oh, it's
asshole.
just the part where Cam just fucking goes on about how much he hates Snarly.
I was gonna go off on how much I love him.
I love him too. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, no, he's a great villain because I hate him so much.
Because I actually outright despise him.
Like, he's pretty bad in Innocent Sin. Again, he fucking just blows up the world. Get an eternal punishment when you enter that final dungeon and the first fucking thing
His
to greet you.
smug Tatsuya face. Because that's the form he's taking on, where like he is taking on the original form of Tatsuya from Innocent Sin.
And he is
And
just
he's like, I
toying.
think this look fits me.
He kidnaps everyone from Innocent Sin and is like, oh, well, we can't have them remembering things now, can we?
Oh wait, I can make them remember.
I cheated once, I could cheat again.
And I can cheat again and again if I have to.
He toys with them. He gets directly involved and ruins the lives of, like, so many people. Just for his fucking bet.
He really wants to win
A
that
bet with Philemon.
Yeah. But what works about him so well, I think, is that when you meet him first and when he's toying with you, everyone gets a sense of, shit, can we beat him?
Can we really defeat the embodiment of mankind's evil?
Like, you this especially works in Eternal Punishment because in Innocent Sin, even after you beat the final boss, which is him, he just acts like nothing happened.
He just brushes it off like you just poked them a lot. It's like, oh, okay.
So like in Eternal Punishment, when he shows up again, starts talking with him, I was like, oh, okay, then come and beat me. I'm like, wait, but can we do that?
Can we really do that though? And really, you can't defeat him, particularly like outright kill him. In the end, you can only stop him.
Stop him.
So in the end, what basically happens is that he gets banished.
Yeah, Philemon's like, no, fuck you, you've lost this bet, go away.
Though, the one worry everyone has is the fact that he is still the dark side of everyone's heart. And that if that would ever pop up, he could easily still come back.
Yeah. Like, part of me wants to say stuff like the shadows, like, in P4 were still, like, his influence from, like, the dark side of humanity. Like Philemon and Nyarlathotep don't directly show up ever again after P2,
Yeah.
but their presence is still felt.
Philemon is more so like presence is surrounding the characters in like 3 and 4. In the form of
Yeah.
like the blue butterfly.
Yeah. Well, Nyarlathotep is like, you know, he's mankind's collective, like, dark sides, which, again, P4 has the shadows again. So, like, there's still some things he has, like, influence over.
Yeah.
Which is, man, Gnarly is the probably, like, I think one of Persona's weaknesses is that it never really has, like, effective villain characters.
Yeah, but I think that would be like the case for like 2 and 4 though,
Yeah.
where it's some of the best villains ever.
Yeah. Like, I mean, again, we said we spoiled. So Adachi works really well as a villain, and Nyarlathotep works really well as a villain. Meanwhile, P1 and P3 don't really have anything strong in that department.
Well, I think for like in their case, well, P1 had like Guido, and Guido is there. He's fine, but it's nothing amazing. And P3, I think it works regardless. Like you have the antagonistic force of like the opposing team
Strega,
with
yeah.
Strega, but you don't really need like anyone else other than Akutsuki, who's kind of
Yeah.
like setting up the demise instead of like full out. Oh, I'm a bad guy. Ooh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, that's fine and all. It's just, I don't know. A traditional villain always works a bit better, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, no. That's why I prefer like Nyarlathotep and
Adachi.
Adachi. I'm just saying it's fine in their cases that like they
Yeah.
have straight up villains
Yeah.
all the way through.
I can agree with that. But yeah, no, Nyarlathotep is a villain who leaves a fucking impact, and I think that's why everyone's like, hey, maybe they'll bring Nyarlathotep back this time.
I'd like to see that.
I like to see
I'd
that.
like
I mean,
P5 to be like kind of an ultimate culmination of the previous games.
Yeah, I would like it. I don't expect it.
I don't expect it in the slightest, but if that did happen, that would be amazing. Like, I'd
Yeah.
go bravo.
Like, if it was just the last minute twist, like, say the organization we talked about earlier, like, that's sort of like the same thing as
Similar
like,
to P2 with like the Mask Circle and the New World Order.
Yeah,
This could easily be implemented here.
yeah. So if that happened, that would be cool. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. Nyarlathotep works.
He
I
really
fucking
works.
hate
It's
him,
it's well
but he
done.
Works.
Piece of shit.
Piece of shit.
But you know what?
Father
The
is
pieces of
here.
shit are usually the best villains.
And then, just to round things off before we, like, kind of end this with a couple of questions. There is actually some stuff that returns from P1. In particular, Yukino, Nanjo, and Eriko
Yeah.
will become, like, temporary party members for longer than Tatsuya and Jindo in their respective games, honestly.
Yeah. Because like at the end, those are like in-game kind of party members where their stats are pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially Tatsuya, Jesus Christ.
Oh my god. He's already got Apollo at that point.
Yeah, he already has his ultimate persona for fuck's
With
sake.
Jun, you had to get the ultimate persona to doing like some of the dungeons, but with here, no, he's already ready to go.
Well, yeah. I mean,
He's
there's a
ready to go
story.
and ready to go and kick some ass.
There's a story reason behind that, but yeah,
Oh yeah, it works greatly because of that. Like
definitely.
both examples.
But yeah, and you know what? Like, Yukino seemed cool, but like I didn't get to know her much because I didn't do the Snow Queen quest. Because God playing P1 again sounds like torture to me. So does playing, actually replaying Eternal Punishment, mind you. But yeah,
Yeah.
but like Eriko, who I just straight up never had in my party. I really wanted to go for Nate or like Nanjo because like he was my favorite from P1. But then Jeff told me about that fucking Guido fight, and I'm like,
Oh! Oh!
Yeah, one cool thing Eternal Punishment has is that there's like a kind of set path where you can either go with Eriko from P1 or Nanjo with P1, and that would go through different dungeons. So if you went with Nanjo, you would end up going through like a sewer in a laboratory and deal with Guido, or Kendori if you want to go with a better translation. And if you go
Yeah.
with Eriko, you go through the TV station, and each one either has Lisa or Akechi, like you'll come across.
yeah. I still need to check out like the cutscenes from Nanjo's side.
I need to
but-
check the cutscenes for the Nacho because the only one who's gone through that is Jeff.
Oh,
And
oh.
apparently, it's not fun.
Okay, the story bits are pretty good, but oh my god, the fucking dungeons, holy shit.
Well, one of them is a sewer, and sewer levels in video games are never good.
Isn't
They're
one of those
never
dungeons
good.
timed?
I think the sewer dungeon's timed.
A timed sewer dungeon. Ooh.
Yeah, it's awful.
I'm getting some Snow Queen vibes.
And then at the end, like that's like the very end of their paths is where you fight like,
Yeah, it's where you fight Guido.
or in Eriko's case, Chizuru, I think the name was.
Chizuru, yes. The
I
worst
don't know
voice
how-
actress I've ever heard, yes.
Oh.
I don't know I don't know how Chizuru is, but holy shit, I prefer to fight her over Guido.
Chizuru was honestly kind of easy. The only thing is she used like Spell of Protection a lot, which was kind of an annoying spell, but it was doable.
It was doable. It wasn't anything too bad. Especially compared to some of the shit I hear about, like the Kendori fight.
Oh, horrible flashbacks. Horrible flashbacks.
Oh,
Okay,
you fight
so
like
what's-
5 of the mechs alongside him.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, let me explain. Okay, so getting to Gandori is awful enough. Fighting him. Okay, so he gets five mechs, so it's already bad enough. But here's the thing about Gandori. He takes half damage from everything. And I mean everything.
Even like Megidolin.
Yes.
Jesus, even Almighty's not powerful enough for Guido.
He is Super Guido.
And it's just really annoying to fight. It's like, awful.
Yeah, when you mentioned that, like originally I was just gonna go with like Eriko because I figured I'd be one of the only people who would play Persona 2. So it's like, let's compare, Jeff. I'll go with this route. He's like, yeah,
Yeah, and I'll pick Nate Trinity. It's like, yeah.
Nate Trinity.
And it's like, oh, Nate Path is fucking awful. I hate it.
Which again is sad because he was my favorite from P1.
Yeah, same.
No, because Nate, like, no, not sorry, Nate. Now Joe is actually like he's cool in the route, but again, playing the route, it's not fun. Not fun at all.
I think another thing with that, like I don't know, maybe it's different from the Nanjo path, but Guido was just kind of there in Eternal Punishment.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much character he's got in Eternal Punch because again, I haven't seen the routes.
I'm trying to remember. Like, I think he showed up a few times, but then you just kind of fight him, and then he dies again. It's like, oh,
So he's
What's really
kind of like the P1 cast where they're just more so there.
Yeah.
Unless, you know, they're the ones to join your party, where they get a bit... Because again, I was about to say, like, yeah, I didn't know Yukino and Eriko much from P1, but, like, I ended up liking them a lot in P2 by the end of it.
Yeah, Yukino and like Innocent Sin like really hit me, especially like around the end, where
Yeah.
she ends up losing her close loved one, and there's this amazing choice where it's like you can either like talk her into coming along or just leaving her, and that ends up like depicting whether she ends up committing suicide or not.
But when like, if you make the right choice, she doesn't come back, and like, holy shit, she's fired up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
she's
god.
ready to kick
Like
some
the
ass.
scene where like she's screaming in the boss fight is some of my favorite like delivery in a voice acting like game I've ever seen.
It's so good.
Like that
Really
that
good.
sent shivers.
Yeah, no, I just really like how like they still ended up expanding on it because there was the secret party member in P1. The fuck was his name again? Reiji.
Right.
Reiji.
Which is like this punk kid in like P1. But there's a reason behind it. But then he becomes like a businessman who ends up getting married with a kid at the end, which actually like ends up playing into some of the things that happened in P1 between him and like Kandori.
Yeah,
His
because
lover.
they're technically brothers.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah, I already said at the beginning.
But then again, well, you didn't mention any P1 spoilers.
I said Atlus games.
I also said general Persona games. That's why I spoiled like the Adachi thing and the fact that Minato died.
But what the fuck is a Persona 1?
It's a game about this kid, Persona.
It's about this game.
Persona. Persona.
Persona.
Yeah, no.
Persona.
Like they did do small things to even like flesh out the P1 cast a bit more. Now that they're like all adults, and
Yeah.
that's just cool.
It's great seeing like characters come out of the high school setting, like especially someone like Maki, who ends up becoming like a much better occupation that relates to what she wanted to do, where she wanted to help people.
Yeah. It's also
So,
funny
so
seeing
seeing them out and about like this, it's like, oh wow, that's great.
they actually grew up and like, ironically relating to the themes, followed some of their dreams.
Exactly. It all comes together.
It comes together really well. Like, I don't know. I think Satomi was just really meticulous when he wrote everything in P2. Like he thought everything through.
In case
feels
of
like.
demanded sequel.
Even in the demanded sequel, he thought through everything,
He actually managed to bring it all together.
and that is just great.
That's pretty perfect.
It's
I'm not
impressive
sure
stuff.
how good that is like with DDS like 1 and 2.
Like, yeah, actually, Jeff, since you played that, which would you say has the stronger writing, DDS or P2?
That's a hard one.
Okay, well, I mean that's good.
That's good.
It's just like, because they're both really good stories. Also, funny enough, it's by the same writer too. So
Yeah, that's why I asked DDS in particular.
Yeah.
well, again, it's hard to tell concerning they're both
They're generally
Like,
both considered the best stories in Megaten.
well, yeah, because Satomi knows how to write.
I mean, out of the products he's done, I can agree.
Yeah, which is why I'm excited for that Caligula thing.
Here's hoping
Yeah,
that
I
turns
can't
out
wait
good.
can't wait to kill idols.
Yes, yes, even better.
It's gonna be fun stuff. But like, it's hard to tell what you're saying. Like, you
Yeah.
consider them on equal like writing quality.
Yeah, I do consider them on equal ground. Yeah.
Okay then.
That's good, man.
Well, I'll have to see for myself when I eventually get around to DDS.
Same.
Please do.
Because I have the games. I played the first one for a bit, and that was good. It was just at a point where I really couldn't sit down with it because I was like, "Oh God, there's too much to digest. I need to calm down."
But yeah, I think that's everything. Holy shit, I think this podcast has almost been going on for 3 hours.
This is about like 3 times the length of a regular podcast because we just talk about one stupid fucking game.
And I love this stupid game.
I
even though there's
adore
a lot of
Persona
problems.
2.
I adore Persona 2. I adore Persona 2 as a story, though.
Yeah, as a story, gameplay wise,
Gameplay wise, I wish it was better, but you know what? I have a lot of cases where like there's big problems in games, but I still come out loving them.
Yeah.
yeah,
So this is just another to add to the list where I just genuinely love like a majority of everything in P2.
Yeah. I really wish it's something where I could say, yeah, this is my favorite, go out and play it, but
Not quite.
honestly, call me a casual. As overall experiences, I'd rank P3 and P4 higher than P2.
I
Fair
can
enough.
completely understand that.
I'd put it above P4. But they're
Ooh.
all good, and you should all
Yeah.
play them.
Even Persona,
Even P1, which is basically the same case as P2, but a bit worse.
yeah, but even that still has like
Even that
strong
has
writing.
like qualities that like are amazing and that you should go through.
I feel every Persona game, well, maybe it's not some of the spin-off.
No. Play the main ones. You should play the main ones.
Having played every main Persona game, I can safely say all of them are at least worth experiencing once.
Yes.
And I hope to say the same for Persona 5.
Oh god, yes.
I
Please,
really
please,
hope so.
Please.
Yeah, hope anyone was able to follow like all 2 hours of that.
We're nearing the 3-hour mark. Did you say we had questions?
We had a couple, but we can save them for next episode if you want.
Any relating to this one?
Well, there's one, but
Come on, tell us what it is. Come
Go on.
Yeah, come on.
who are your Persona waifus?
Ooh!
Oh, waifu arguments.
God, I hate this fan base.
Now, who
I hate
asked
it
that
so
question?
much.
Yeah, who asked the question?
Jordan.
Of course.
Mm.
See, like we needed to discipline this child at some point.
All right, well, you two go ahead.
So, I said it before, my favorite female character, not necessarily waifu, female character, is Maya. Although I'd say Ulua and Naruto are also pretty much up there.
I
about
would,
you guys?
I would agree with that.
I actually completely agree. It's kind of funny. Like, those are the best ones.
Oh man, no arguments this time, huh?
Huh.
How funny if we could just all agree on something, not just spend countless hours arguing on Twitter.
About
But-
waifus we saw in the trailer. Not even in the game, just the trailer.
And we don't know anything about them. It's just how they look.
It's because we have high quality taste.
I'd argue that, but you know, this is already going on for like a ridiculous amount of time, so...
Yeah, no, I think we've had to say enough. I'm shocked if anyone will listen to all of this. But you know what? I had fun.
Yeah.
I had fun.
Thanks
I
for
mean,
coming on, Professional Shitposter.
You're welcome. And like, if you guys do like another podcast about like tail shit or something like that, let me in because I can go on about that.
Okay. Yeah, you can go on
Okay.
more than me, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
We might have Jeff back, who knows? We might also have other guests sometime in the future, but I think the next couple of episodes are just going to be me and Ian again. Probably, unless there's something else major happening.
You never know. You never know.
Who knows?
But for now, we say to you all, adieu.
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 Bye.
Bye!
Goodbye.